Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Director Watch, an Awards Watch podcast that attempts to get inside the mind of cinema's greatest auteurs, explore what drives them, maybe go on a few unrelated tangents along the way. I'm Ryan McQuade, the executive editor here at Awards Watch, and joining me as always is my totem, my co-host, Jay Ledbetter.
Ryan, you ever had that feeling where you're on an episode, an important episode, and you're just like, maybe I should withhold my opinions. Maybe I should just let other people talk, you know?
Oh, man, I feel like, well, one, I'm not invited enough on other shows in order to feel like that.
No, I just mean specifically this show. I feel like I'm going to get in trouble talking about Inception today.
Well, I think you just need to, pot a little bolder, maybe?
Spoiler alert, I might get in trouble today.
We're talking Inception.
I'm literally going to your letterbox right now. I want to see this.
I'm not going to get sent to The Hague or anything, but
I don't think so. But I think
I'm going to get in a little bit of trouble.
I think that though we knew going into this, and we're here to talk about Inception, obviously today. We knew going into this is the stretch of Christopher Nolan's films, Jay, where you had some questions about him during that era. And so it's going to be interesting to kind of, dissect all that, to dive deep into the mind of Jay Ledbetter's thought process back then and now.
Yeah. Maybe you could incept into me liking this movie.
I'm definitely going to extract some things, that's for sure. And as I do every week with you. Jay, we're not alone, though. And that voice that you already heard perfectly cutting in, which is exactly how we like it here.
Was that Cobb?
Could be.
It was is none other than our good friend, Mr. Griffin Schiller. Griffin, welcome back to Director Watch.
Hey, guys. Thank you for having me.
It's been a while.
It has been. Nice. I think the last time I was on here, I had the pleasure of talking about Return of the King for Peter Jackson's Director Watch. So now you got me back for Nolan, who's my guy. So I'm stoked.
We've had this kind of planned, I want to say, for about a year that we knew that we were going to do Nolan. Big shocker. He had a movie coming out. We knew we were going to do that. But
he has a movie coming out?
We'll talk about it in a couple of weeks. Maybe.
I haven't watched the trailer, by the way.
There was a new... Okay.
I'm not gonna.
Well, apparently, according to the fucking internet, it's the worst thing since the atomic bomb dropped. So.
Well, that was his last movie, technically.
Honestly,
sorry. Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah, honestly, that does track. Can I be honest, though?
Yes, this is.
We're recording this after the second trailer, right? I guess you could say, dropped.
Sure.
Jay?
Mm-hmm.
Gonna tell you right now.
Okay.
A little worried.
Oh, boy.
A little worried.
Oh, Griffin's mad
not
now.
Fully concerned.
I'm not mad.
You made the
not
mad.
Fully concerned.
Okay. Sure.
But there was some things in it, and maybe it's just the editing of the trailer. I went, oh boy. I did go, no.
So
I said no once.
My half hesitance might be justified.
It involved the appearance of Charlize Theron, and I went, nope.
Oh, does she play the same character she plays in Apex?
No, it's the same one from Prometheus, actually, which is interesting.
Ah, yes, that's it.
Yes, where she gets crushed by.
You watched Apex?
Haven't seen it yet. Good?
Quite bad.
Quite bad.
No, quite bad.
Damn it! I was hoping it was good. I was going to watch it on a plane.
I just think Netflix original movie is just cooked.
Well, I mean, are you talking about their fall movies that they make, or are you talking about the average?
Well, they'll have 2 or 3 movies a year where you're like, oh, this is a real movie. That's interesting. And then the other movies are Netflix movies.
I mean,
it is its own genre at this point.
Okay.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, then there's that. But I'm still excited for it. But I was a little like, I was side-eyeing that trailer.
Wait, what about the Charlize Theron thing? Was it just her, or was
I think it was weirdly, and I'm gonna say this for my guy who, listen, I love Nolan, but I love Hoyte van Hoytema.
Oh yeah.
The lighting in that scene was a little rough. And
Okay.
the
Interesting.
costume was a little rough too. Like the whole thing, it just I'm
I
sure
can
in the scene, in the film, in the tone, it works.
Hmm.
But in the trailer,
I
I
can
was like,
chalk that up to watching on your phone. I'm all right with that.
I watched it
Yeah.
on my computer, but yeah, but, point taken, point taken.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we knew that Griffin was going to come here and he
Hmm.
was going to talk about Inception. He already just kind of laid his cards on the table. He said that Nolan was, in my quote, my guy. So,
Hmm.
Griffin, I got to ask you, why
Mm.
is Christopher Nolan your guy?
Um, I mean, I think like for a lot of well, I think for a lot of people, Spielberg was their guy growing up, and George Lucas with Star Wars and stuff like that. I mean, Peter Jackson for the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I think well, I have a fond affinity for those filmmakers. Indiana Jones and Star Wars are pretty integral to my youth. I I liked Lord of the Rings, but I don't think I really got into it until much later. With Nolan, I think it was just like his films, specifically the Batman trilogy. The Batman Begins came out in 2005, so that was like right around the age where I was like preteen, starting to get more into movies in general. Not that I hadn't loved them before and whatnot. And I think watching those Batman movies, uh, really like that was my trilogy growing up, the Dark Knight trilogy. They were with me from 2005 all the way to basically when I graduated high school. So I just and I think those films, whether I really knew it or not, it taught me a lot about filmmaking and the kinds of films that I was interested in, the kinds of ideas that Nolan explored that I found really compelling. And like I just love Batman as a character. So like it was this perfect synthesis of just like the things I was interested in, the movies that were coming out at the time that really like struck a chord with me, and then also like with Batman Begins specifically. 2005 was kind of like a big year, like a cinematic awakening for me. There was Peter Jackson's King Kong, which is my favorite Peter Jackson film, and then Batman Begins, which is was the start of my love affair with Christopher Nolan. And so both of those movies I saw with my dad, who I didn't usually go to the movies with because he was either traveling or what have you. And for whatever reason, it was just him and I who went to go see both of those movies. And so that kind of added another layer of just like remembrance, I guess, for me. It was a formative experience because they were films that not only he liked, that I also liked, but it was an experience that we shared together. So that was another reason why I think I latched on to those movies. And then with Nolan, I think the kinds of things, the kind of stories that he was telling, not just like the mind fuckery of it, but like the emotional core of it, about just like someone who has a lot of fears as a parent, in the way that kind of manifests into his work.
Distant dads and dead moms.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So like that, I think, not that I had just a dad or a dead mom, but like I think the fact that I never went to the movies with my dad, just the two of us, really, and we went to go see that together. We went to go, and the same was with Inception, the film we're going to be talking about. That was another one where we did that. Those ideas I found ways to, I guess, relate to in my own personal life, and so I think I was able to get on his emotional wavelength as a storyteller from a pretty young age. So and it's he's never really let me down. I've always really just his movies have really spoke to me. On top of the fact that he's just a massive fan of genre of the kind of genres that I'm a big fan of, whether it's like noir, espionage, heist films, stuff like that. Like that really, he's a big Bond guy. His interests and my interests, I think, just kind of align, which is why I'm really drawn to him as a filmmaker.
Absolutely. It's a big awakening period in our
Sure.
time period, like the 2005 to 2000 and sort of 9 range.
Yeah.
Big Bond inspired movie, this one.
very big Bond film inspired.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get Griffin, who's got a couple of Bond posters behind him to talk about that. Just
Only
a
a
couple,
couple.
Griffin. There's not
Just
that
a
many behind you right now.
One-
There's 1, 2, 3, 4 at least. But maybe 5.
Seeing no Timothy Dalton back there, which is
Actually, he
disappointing.
is. This is License to Kill right here.
Okay, there we
Yeah,
go.
then he
All
just
right.
shut
I'm
you
sorry.
down.
I'm sorry.
Just
No,
shut
it's
you
kind of hard
down.
to see. It's kind of hard
I'm
to see.
sorry
And then
for
I've got
doubting. It's a little shrouded by the microphone arm.
yeah, and then I've got You Only Live
But that's
Twice.
on me. That's on me.
More. They're all here. They're
Okay.
all here.
Wow. Look at that.
There you go.
That looks
Lazenby?
Yeah, I don't have a Majesty's one. Weirdly, I don't have a Majesty's poster. I love that
Lazenby
film.
may be the most important to this film.
Yes.
Yeah, for real.
Totally
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Griff, not to side tangent already.
Sure,
Don't do it.
it's okay.
Where's this franchise
All
at?
right, go
Where's
ahead.
it? Where's
Go
this
on.
franchise at? Like, who do you think's gonna get it?
A Lordy.
Oh boy.
You think it's gonna be a Lordy?
I hope it is.
Tall.
That's
tall.
Too
what's kind of
tall.
just- Oh please. Yeah, have you seen George Lazenby? That guy is like
It's like
so
Wimby
fucking tall.
playing Bond. It's too tall.
Ah,
Like,
I don't
Lazenby,
care.
of
course,
you
the
can,
most
you can
beloved
fake
Bond
that
of all.
with movie magic, man. Like that's the guy. The guy is just like tailor made for that character. I think the stuff he's done prior, he has an allure. He's got an interiority that, and the way he brings that to the forefront in his performances. There's he's really good in romantic settings. There's a levity to some of the roles that he plays. You could see him being harsh as well. I don't know, and he's charming. He's young. He would get people excited. He's just everything.
He get people in
that
the
I
door, that for sure. Yeah.
Think, sure. It's,
Yeah.
I mean,
look,
here's what you do. A Lordy Bond, Elizabeth Debicki, Bond girl. Done.
Done.
Solved it.
Then
And
you
you know what
got
I
then you
would
got
watch?
everybody as
Yeah.
tall. Yeah.
You know what? I would watch because I do think that whoever this new Bond needs to be younger and needs to be paired with like a MILF kind of Bond woman.
Ooh.
That
I've been
feels-
saying that. I've been saying that for
We've
years.
been saying that all along.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I
Yeah.
think it needs to happen.
Didn't think the word MILF would come out on
Sounds
this
good.
show, but good job,
Yeah.
Griffin.
MILF.
I will
Do you
say
think if you asked Christopher
Yeah,
Nolan, if
yeah,
he knows
yeah,
what a
do it
MILF
as
is,
Connery.
Do you
MILF.
think he would know it? Do you think
If
Christopher Nolan knows the term
know what a
MILF?
MILF is.
oh yes,
Absolutely.
right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
MILF. Yeah. No, I
yes,
I've seen it
yes,
in IMAX.
Indeed.
You know,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Well, what do you see with the camera? You know, he kind of has like he's got a little sing-songy to him a little bit. But
Yeah.
anyway, Griff, I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
sometimes the basic answers might be the right answers.
Sure.
I got no problems with honestly a Lordy outside of being too tall.
Sure.
He fits the sort of bill of like he's a young guy. He doesn't have a franchise to really his name. He's worked
Yeah.
with a lot of interesting filmmakers. He's a great actor, coming off an Oscar nomination. He's willing to do kind of anything at this point. Like I mean, he'll work on Euphoria to then working on films with Emerald Fennell to working with Guillermo del Toro. He'll
Amazon's
work with
not
Ridley
gonna be, like,
Scott.
devoted to a British guy. Amazon's
Yeah,
like, whatever.
and I think also too, I think Denis Villeneuve is not really a director that's going to mold somebody into being the perfect Bond. Like, in my opinion, I think he needs an established actor, and I think that might be the right move. I mean,
Yeah.
I've given up on the hope of like them even coming close to the idea of I think would be the most radical, awesome idea for Bond, which would be Daniel Kaluuya, but that's never going to happen.
Well,
Daniel
because he's
Kaluuya
a
is
cult.
stuck in like
But he's stuck in a cult.
Yeah.
And
That has as much to do with it as anything.
yeah, and also too, I just think the basis of it all too. Like I think
Sure.
I don't think that's gonna.
I think he's like one of the best actors in the world. But
No,
it
I love
doesn't
him.
appear
Yeah.
that
No,
he
I
is,
love him. He should have like
in a
had the
different
world given to
hemisphere
him.
mentally.
Like
Yeah.
Daniel Kaluuya should be. Michael B. Jordan's about to make the moves that Daniel Kaluuya should have made after Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah,
he should have been
yeah.
making moves to own the world, and instead he's lost. Is the best way to describe it.
we need more Kaluuya and we need more Peel. What are we doing?
Yeah, we
I
need
know.
them both together. Honestly, if anyone's going to get him out of the cult, it's probably Peel to be.
No,
to
but
be
Peel
totally
seems to be in some sort of creative rut as well.
Well, let him.
Oh,
You know
come
what?
on.
Let him take some time. For God's sakes, he's
Well, he did. He had a thing, and then it fell through, and now he just like dissolved a large portion of his production company.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's also like he also those producers or those buyers failed him, and he didn't get weapons either. But yeah, we got Kreger to help us out with that for elevated.
Yeah, thank
prestige
God
horror.
for that. Thank God
He's
for that.
great. Like I can't.
He's great.
That Resident Evil trailer. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go.
Fantastic.
Let's go.
I don't even like
Fun.
Resident Evil. And
Nope.
sold me.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Looks
Yeah.
fun. You know
Bring
what?
it on.
Make fun movies. That's all.
But Nope is a masterpiece.
It is.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Every time you rewatch it, it just gets better.
Yeah.
That bloody house.
I'll tell you what. When he makes a movie, though, it'll make a shit ton of money because you gotta build up the anticipation. People will be pumped for that thing.
Absolutely.
He's got to stop
Absolutely.
producing crap, though. That's the problem. Is he's produced a lot of crap, like him,
Yeah, he needs to less hymns and more nopes.
less Candymans and more Get Outs. You know what I mean?
Yes, there
Like
we
just
go.
do more of that.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with you, Griff. I think he would be honestly right now. That seems to be the trend, and I'm going to say a mean thing here.
Uh-oh.
It's better a Lordy than Colin Turner. I think that would be an absolute terrible
Yeah.
mistake.
Callum Turner's got too much going for him. I'm over him.
He is
You can't be married to Dua Lipa and
be James Bond.
Yeah.
You can't have
Draw the
both.
line somewhere.
Although if he gets the role, then Dua Lipa Bond song. But also, regardless,
Oh.
Dua Lipa Bond song.
Dua Lipa
is
Bond
not-
girl.
Yeah, is that good?
Sure, yeah. I'd love
Yeah.
that. Matthew Vaughn
Yeah.
kind of.
I don't think
is
Dua.
towing
I'm
that.
going to tell you this. I think a Dua Lipa Bond song would be terrible.
Have
I
you
think-
seen her perform at the
No.
Royal Albert Hall?
Listen to me.
Like,
Listen to me. I love Dua Lipa. I know
Sure.
a lot of her songs because, as
big
everyone knows on this show, class A, prime one important person for both me and Jay. But
hey, that's
I just think her songs are a little too fun for a Bond
A
thing.
little too soda pop.
Too soda pop. Yeah.
I'm gonna send you a video later that's gonna change your mind about that because she did a live performance at like I think it was Royal Albert Hall or something like that with like a big band, orchestral band or orchestra behind her. She played one of her hits and it completely changed the way that I felt about it. Because I was the same way as you. I was like,
Was it the training? Was it training season?
actually don't know. It might have been.
Because that's a bop. By the way,
It is a
Just
bop.
gonna put
It is a bop. I gotta go. I'll have to go back and look at it. But
I always had the
that video
controversial-
sold me.
I always had the controversial opinion. I thought her song was the best song in the Barbie soundtrack.
I did too.
And
It's much better than the Billie Eilish song.
Yeah.
I like Billie Eilish. Don't get me wrong, and I love her
I like
Bond
Billie
song.
Eilish. One
But-
of James Cameron's best friends.
James Cameron better ask her for some money because he's going to get sued out of his ass right now. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Malik James Cameron tonight.
I think it's going to happen. I think he's about to lose Avatar, and then he's going to have to make something for real, something
Lies,
different.
too.
Oh my God,
True Lies too.
True Lies too.
I said True Lives, which that might be good too.
True
Lives.
Actually,
Lives.
True Lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I think
they
that
have
was
to.
a Frederick Wiseman movie.
Or if it's a sequel, Two Lies, right?
Two Lies, and with
Two
the money
Lies.
sign on top on there
Yeah.
right there.
I literally
there you
just
go.
spilled my drink on myself. That was such a good idea.
Griffin, you're here to talk about Inception with us.
Yes, I completely forgot for a second.
So this movie comes out in 2010. This is a big movie. We keep talking about the big
Huge.
ones. It's a
boy,
big
oh
one.
boy, did this thing make some money.
It made some money. Here's the
Say.
thing. People kind of, I think, I don't know if we forget, but maybe because we talk about Christopher Nolan's filmography, but this is his follow-up to The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Maybe the biggest film of the biggest blockbuster of the 21st century.
Most
One of
important,
them.
perhaps. And this was, he didn't have this lined up like while he was making that movie. This was
No.
just like, oh, I get to kind of pick what I want now.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
always sort of
Yeah.
had the next thing figured out while he was making it. And
He did.
This was like, I did The Dark Knight. I think I sort of get to do whatever I want now.
Yes. This
And
is
so he made Inception.
this is
Yeah.
a
Weird dream heist movie.
we're going to give you a blank check and see what you can do with it. And he made
Christopher
this
Nolan
film.
pressure test.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
And maybe one of the biggest passes of all time. Griffin,
Yeah.
I know you've seen this movie a ton of times. I am going to go out on a wager and say that this is not only one of your favorite films of all time. I believe, and if I did my research correctly, you stated this is your favorite film of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I gotta ask you, what in 2010, in the summer of 2010, you kind of alluded to it a little bit, but
Yeah.
where were you at in the summer of 2010? And what did this movie, when you saw it in theaters, and you can tell us how you saw it, what format, all that stuff.
Yeah.
What did
Well,
this
some of
movie
those
do? What did it
details-
do to you, buddy?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it was just one of those, I think it was one of those movies, like, for, I think, a lot of people that really just changed the way I viewed the medium. I think it was kind of a gateway to other kinds of movies that weren't, necessarily franchise films or like Star Wars or whatever. Because 2010, I would have been a freshman in high school or something like that. So really starting to get more into film as an art form and seeking out things that weren't mainstream. So yeah, and I think watching something like this it has all the appeal of a mainstream blockbuster. I mean, it is a mainstream blockbuster, but it has all of the appeal of the franchise films that I liked, like Bond or whatever. But it was so different. It was such a visceral experience. You felt everything that was going on, regardless of all the walk and talks and like the explaining of the mechanics of the world. I never really, like, whenever I watched this film and when I first watched it, like, obviously you pay attention to that stuff. You pay attention to the dialogue because you're trying to understand how everything is working. But to me, none of that, like, that's not necessarily what stuck with me. It's the big sweeping emotions of this guy who's trying to navigate the trauma of his past, who's trying to reconcile with the fact that he doesn't feel like he can go home and see his kids again because of a mistake he made. The idea of getting lost in this creative process, and wanting to still be a creative person while also withdrawing from the world and the things that fuel your creativity. Those are obviously things that I think I was able to pick up on a little bit later on. But when I first saw it, like I said, it was a film that I saw with my dad. We never went to the movies by ourselves, so that was a movie we saw together. The scope, the spectacle of it all, the audio visual, just kind of sensory experience, I think, was the first thing that really, like, gripped me. The intensity, the drama, the way that it was something so intimate and so human, and it was just realized on this massive just endlessly inventive scale. It was just something that I just kept wanting to go watch again and again and again. I'll be honest, I don't know if I actually saw it in IMAX, or have ever seen it in IMAX. I think I've only ever seen it in 70 millimeter, and that's like the largest format that I think I've seen it in, mainly because I don't think the theaters near me had IMAX. My parents weren't cinephiles the way I am, so they wouldn't really know how to seek out an IMAX. They wouldn't drive to go see an IMAX. So I think that was just something I saw in 70 millimeter. But yeah, I mean, and then also I just think it was the first time I feel like I started to comprehend the mechanics of filmmaking. Score is a big part of this. Hans Zimmer's score is a massive driving force. And yes, we recognize thematic music across all of our favorite films, whether it's Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, whatever, Pirates of the Caribbean, just to name like another Hans Zimmer project. But I had never really heard it used the way that it had been used in this film before, and the way that it was so in sync with the the feeling that Nolan was trying to get out of it's trying to evoke within the audience visually, and Hans Zimmer's score was just very I mean, it's brilliant. Like on top of just like these simple motifs that he was able to orchestrate to such incredible degrees, it was like the instrumentation that he used, the way that the Edith Piaf song would then kind of become the score after as you went into the dream. It was stuff like that that just like really sucks you in, and yeah, and I mean I could go on, but I think that, like on a base level, the first time I saw this film, those were the things that really like grabbed hold of me, that allowed it to stick with me. And then obviously the ending, I think it was obviously a big point of conversation when the film came out. It was something that I think I had spent so much time thinking about, not only after I saw it, but in subsequent viewings. It is such a brilliant and poetic and fitting way to end that story. And for so long, I think the conversation was about trying to understand the logistics of it. It's like what actually happened. Like, is this a dream? Puzzle. Is it not a dream? And I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit later on. But it was one of those things where it's like when you just kind of let go of that and you accept the journey that the character has gone on, and that the logistics don't really matter. The feelings are what matter. That I think the movie just takes on a whole new level of beauty. And I think, even from a young age, that was my first introduction to understanding that, to letting go of the mechanics of plots and stuff like that, and just being like, how is this thing making you feel? How are you comprehending it emotionally? Because that's the subjective experience. And I think this movie is a big proponent of watching movies with all of that in mind.
I love that. Follow that up.
You have to follow that up, Jay.
Yeah. Have you ever been to like a wedding where you're really happy to be celebrating with the people there, but you just hate, you're like not a fan of the bride? You're like, I'm not like, I'm like, it's great to be
Jay,
with
that was
everybody.
so
I haven't seen
specific.
these people in so long.
I know. Has that happened to you?
Does that happen to you?
Oh boy, does it happen to me. And guess what? It ended in her not getting them not getting married.
Whoa.
Walk away from a runaway bride.
Oh,
so that was interesting.
Full on Julia Roberts. All right.
Yeah, it was interesting. But this is a movie. Oh, God, all of these Nolan movies, we can't really talk about them without talking about when we saw them the first time.
Yeah.
Because Nolan is so integral to our growth and development as cinephiles. Mm-hmm. And this movie, a little bit older than Griffin, this would have been when I was sort of in the summer between senior year of high school and freshman year of college.
Correct.
And this was the point where I had just moved away from my hometown. Like the day after I graduated high school, I moved away from Atlanta to Raleigh, which is where my parents, my dad had a new job. So I was like all alone by myself basically for that whole summer. And one cool thing about Raleigh, they had a very accessible IMAX theater. So I really liked that. And so I went and saw this thing in IMAX. And I will say the first time I saw it, I was so enamored with the feeling that it exuded. Just the sensation that you felt watching the movie was so overwhelming to me that I was in so many ways like in love with this movie.
Yeah.
It is unlike anything of its era. It does feel on the surface like a more mature form of blockbuster, which I really appreciated. It was like, whoa, this has big ideas on its mind. And I love that. The score, to your point, Griffin, it was just like, I think it started with Dark Knight, really, where Dark Knight, what I said about that film was that's the first movie that sounds like what I think a Christopher Nolan movie sounds like. And this takes that up another level. It's the birth of the Brahm, after all. I mean, this is one of the most sonically influential movies of its era. And so all of those things combined with these stunning visuals dispersed throughout the film, I was just like, wow, what an achievement. And then I think as I sort of grew older, watched it two or three other times, I kind of don't like 60 to 70% of this movie because, dear God, is it the most expository, just people asking questions of each other that explain both the plot of the movie and the themes of the movie extraordinarily explicitly. And then you will get a moment that, like the hotel fight sequence, I truly think is one of the greatest set pieces in cinema history. I think it is so compelling, such an achievement. Um, and then it's just like, well, Maul, what you understand that Maul is the reason that you cannot get. Yes, I understand. I know. I know. You don't have to tell me. I understand. And so Ariadne is the hindrance to this movie being like a full-on masterpiece in a lot of ways, but it's not just that character that sort of drives that expository overload. Um, but it's unfortunate that it overwhelms so much of what is great about this movie. It is a movie that refuses to sort of wear its ideas on its sleeve. It has to scream them at you. And I don't like that. It also has the Christopher Nolan thing of this era that I don't love, where it is so obsessed with being so puzzle centric and every little thing in its right place. It's the same thing that people complain about with Wes Anderson movies aesthetically. They're playing with his little dollhouse. He's playing with his Rubik's cube. That to me sort of is what he's doing with this film. I still think it's a totally worthwhile endeavor. The
Mm.
great things in this movie are capital GREAT great, but the kind of foundation of the movie to me is mildly to very broken. And it creates something that I'm very in the middle on. And I feel bad about it now. I don't like that I'm in the middle on it, but I gotta be honest.
Well, that is your
That's fair.
honesty. That's your
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So, summer of 2010, about to head to college myself, and um, I was working a summer job at a summer camp, and I'd work Sunday to Saturday, and I'd have Saturday nights off, and
This was your wet hot American summer.
yes, um, and my dad, because I had the week off, you can get a week off, and then you go back up for another 3 weeks, and so um, I planned my whole week off around going Saturday night to see this in the IMAX. And much like yourself, Griffin, I grew up with my dad taking me to Blockbuster and pulling the Connery and Moore Bond films off the shelf and watching those. And I'll never forget. I mean, I think that's, no, that's The World Is Not Enough. I remember him taking me to see The World Is Not Enough and Tomorrow Never Dies and Die Another Day in theaters. And I had a torn ACL in 2005, and I made sure that the day the doctors got me the cast,
How did you tear your ACL?
I was playing football, and I was in practice, and one of my teammates undercut my legs.
Oof,
Yeah, it was
that's rough.
not only did I have to kick that guy's ass, but then I also had to be in a brace for 9 months because it was a partially torn one, and I avoided surgery, but it was still like a full recovery. It had to heal on its own. But the day I got the brace, I told my parents, I said, "What time is the appointment?" They said it's at 9:30. Okay, what's the earliest time I could see Casino Royale? Because once I get this brace and I get the crutches, I want to see that fucking movie. So loved Bond films my whole life. Loved spy films in general. And the person that got to really take me to a lot of those was my dad. And so when I when the trailer kind of looked like a dreamy spy espionage kind of thing
Mhm.
from the guy that made The Dark Knight, I told my dad, IMAX whatever weekend it came out, and he said, "Sure," and and we went, and we kind of sat back middle, which is very rare for me because I like to usually sit on the sides, and sat back middle. And to Jay's point and to Griffin's point, I was like fully immersed into the hand that was Christopher Nolan. Like I felt like we were all kind of that summer put in the palm of his hand. And this is a very similar thing that he had done really the last three films. And Batman Begins, The Prestige is a big one. I remember that one just being like, what the fuck is this? And then obviously Dark Knight. This is even different because this is taking it to a degree that is larger and bigger and beyond it really any of those. It was almost like taking the scale of the Dark Knight and the sophistication of Memento and The Prestige and putting this in the Bond film he could never make at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And getting to, in a way, create his own IP, you know? And I thought the movie was thrilling. I loved Leo. I love Leo. I always have loved Leo. Leo's like my movie star, our movie star.
Yeah. Totally,
and it was like the guy who's our big director now, the time working with the movie star, and it made too much sense not to work.
Yeah.
And then I saw it 3 more times. So I saw it four times. I remember seeing it. I had to rush back one of my nights off because I went to the small little theater that was like 20 minutes away to see it again before it left.
Yeah.
And I just remember showing it to everyone I could because I was kind of blown away by this thing.
Yeah, I had this similar thing where it was like, because the first time I saw it was just my dad and I, and then immediately after we saw it, it was like my sister and my mom was like, okay, we're gonna go again so that you guys can experience it because you're not gonna believe your mind. Like your mind will be blown watching this thing. You know,
I got like a group of guys together. There was 2 times in the summer that we got together, and one was to see Inception. The other was to
tore your ACL at any of these.
No,
he was out of the.
If he was, I mean, I wish nothing but terrible things upon him, and I still do.
Wow.
You do that to your own teammate, you can go fuck yourself. Like that's just straight up. That's a no-no. He knew what he was doing too. He will never admit it, and I don't know if he's alive or dead, and I hope he's dead.
Let's get him on the pod.
Anyway, with the other film that we all went and saw together was Toy Story 3, and a group of seniors and that just graduated high school going to college. Toy Story 3, we were all, I think I've said this on the show, we were all just a mess in that theater.
Oh my God, I saw that with my mom.
Yeah, that's one of those
in college.
That summer it was Toy Story 3 at the first half.
She could even walk out of the theater.
And then Inception. This was like, oh, okay, like I'm not okay right now watching Toy Story 3. And then when you watch Inception, you're like, holy shit, the world is endless. Yeah. And I will say this. Over the years, I have come back to this movie back and forth and back and forth. And I don't know what it is, but I understand everything that Jay has said. And I agree with most of it. But I also don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. Because the movie,
you have to overcome that hurdle, and
I to me,
overcoming that hurdle.
The movie to me is still kind of a wonder, and it has that Nolan thing of like, yes, his problems in his movies get really washed away because of the genuine artistry and the genuine filmmaking that's being presented to you. And this film, yes, from a script standpoint. Every time I've watched it as I've gotten older, I'm like, and also because he made a film later on that I think trumps the shit out of this thing. It's not helpful. And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
This is proto Tenet, man.
Yeah.
I'm just mad I'm not on that episode.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's just like, this is also a time capsule.
Yeah.
For myself. Yeah. And that of like in 2010, this was everything.
Oh, well,
Just
We've talked about
and
that with everything
Yeah.
from Batman Begins on. There
Yeah.
is like this 8-year period where it's like
yes.
you're like, this
there
is
was
everything to
nothing
me.
more important than this.
And I can't get
he
mad
owned the
at
culture.
I can't get mad at nostalgia that was actually made. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like put in my face nostalgia. This is genuinely crafted nostalgia. And I think
visceral nostalgia.
and I also think too that it is genuinely fascinating to talk about this film, warts and all, flaws and all, and break it down and it's still being like, yeah, but by the end, when that top is when you're still kind of wondering did it fall or did it not, even though we all have our opinion on that, when the movie puts on the credits, you're just like, fuck, I had a fun time watching that. Like I like the set pieces are better. It's at up to this point in his career, the set pieces are better, the action's clearer, the puzzle box stuff. Yeah, it's annoying, but it's also like some of the stuff in it is actually starting to tap into the emotionality of him that I find to be greater in his later films. And so this is like this isn't a slap or anything to it, but it is a prototype of the Nolan we're going to see post The Dark Knight and the type of filmmaker that Jay you fell in love with. And so without this movie, I don't think you get Interstellar.
Fell in love with and fell out of love with.
Yeah, then fell back in love with. This you don't get this
He's
movie
such a more confident storyteller now than he was when he made Inception, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I totally I do
it's
agree
so
with
true.
that. I feel like you could say Interstellar, but to me the movie that really cemented the final form of Nolan as a storyteller, this full just like experiential like cinema verite kind of on a populist scale filmmaker was Dunkirk. That was the movie where it was just like this is everything that
that's
he is.
been my take. His last
It's
few
also
movies
just
are his
like
best movies. That's
it's just like I don't have to name people in this thing. I don't have to really have a giant like the biggest star of that movie is not showing his face at
It's
all.
not necessarily about what it's about. It's about how it makes you feel.
It's about it's about how it makes you feel, and it's about who's making it.
Yeah, and I would argue actually this movie is a
version
manual. Well, it's a manual on how to view the work that would come after it. Because I think what's so brilliant about Inception is that it is like if Ariadne is the audience surrogate, this is her first time into the world, and she's being explained the mechanics of it. She's a part of all of these creative conversations, if you will, with the crew and whatnot. She is understanding the rules of that are in place, and then constantly fighting against them, fighting to break them, to the point where like your main characters are having to kind of rethink what they thought they knew about the rules of the world as well, which is a testament to Nolan as a filmmaker. And then eventually it stops being about the rules. Like I think it's what I like about it is that the exposition is there. It's there to help you understand it, just on a very conceptual level. But then it denies you that. It almost asks you to similar to Tenet, to move off of it, and that the specifics don't matter. That these things that are holding you back don't really matter, and it's really about what kind of feelings is this invoking within your soul. And so that's the kind of genius about I think this movie is it's doing both of those things. It's like telling you how to read the manual and then ignoring the manual and really leaning more heavily into the emotionality of it.
I have a question for you guys.
I agree with you on Tenet.
I do think Tenet is the more like if you can call it refined, maybe like refined version of this, because I mean Tenet literally is just like, hey, don't try to understand it, feel it. And there's like one line, and then the rest of the movie is just like fucking feel it. Like that's it. And I will say this is my favorite movie of all time, but Tenet is infinitely more rewatchable for that reason, because it is just a thing that you just get into the middle. It's just a vibe that you lock in on, and it just takes you on this ride. And anyways, I
had a question. Because when I was watching this movie, this go around, I was thoroughly enjoying myself, and enjoying just the way that this movie moves. I think
The
still
sensation of watching this movie is
so
enjoyable.
it's undeniable.
Yeah.
Like, it's undeniable. But in recent years, Nolan and DiCaprio have kind of talked about this film through retrospectives and Oscar campaigns and people asking them stuff in interviews about it.
It's the #1 director and the #1 actor, man.
And it seems like there was a bit of a tug and pull. And it feels like there was a little bit of I think, and this is how I've read it, and maybe you guys have read it differently than I have.
You're talking about the production of the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it felt like DiCaprio wanted him to explain things more for the emotion to work in his mind. And Nolan, I think, was attempting to, in the script, experiment more with the ideas of what he did with Tenet, which is to let it feel what Griffin's talking about. And this is the kind of marriage of, like, Leo basically, I think it was like a quote where it's like you gotta get people to buy into this whole thing, and it's going to be through this guy's emotional journey a little bit.
I do disagree with you, actually.
And this is the kind of like the interesting stuff about, like, Leo is that Leo is very hands-on when it comes to his collaborations with Scorsese. So much so that, like, supposedly Killers of the Flower Moon was entirely rewritten by Paul Thomas Anderson, and or at least scenes and sections were, and they did a full rewrite, and it's not based entirely off of the way that the book is done, but more through the content of what the book is about. And I'm not saying that hinders the film, but it is interesting that I don't think a movie like this, where, for me at least, from Nolan's filmography later past this, of original properties, I'm not talking about The Dark Knight Rises, of original properties, doesn't feel like it has, for me at least, this much exposition dialogue, where it does kind of feel like I'm stopping sometimes a little too much and going back and forth to try to explain a little too much.
Interstellar in a while.
I've seen Interstellar a bunch.
There's a lot of explanation.
Well, yeah, so he's trying to throw a lot in there. But also, I think that movie is moving shit forward.
I know. I gotta watch.
I
gotta watch it again.
And also, that movie is so much built on emotion.
Oh yeah.
And the Mall Cobb dynamic, which I think is a lot of, obviously, Nolan's obsessions with dead wives. And
the emotional
everything.
core of the Cobb and Mall, which I don't know if you guys knew this, means bad in some languages.
Thank you very much.
God, no one's really bad about that. But that was DiCaprio. And Nolan, like, rode along. He was like, yes, this movie does need an emotional center, Leo. You're so smart. And it does need that. Honestly, it does need that.
Sure, but that's also, that could also be like,
with is the mechanics. And the mechanics is a big part of what bogs this movie down.
Oh, I love the mechanics.
So precise.
I know, but I also,
no, it's not precise. It's full of contradictions.
Yeah.
It's silly and fun, and that's fine, but don't be obsessive about the rules.
But I actually find
don't entirely make sense.
I find as I watch this movie more on the mechanics, I find fun, and because he's building this world, and the idea of it contradicting itself, because most of this is through the human mind and the human perspective, and aren't we, if not flawed ourselves, and so of course it's going to change. And even to the point where he's not really explaining what extraction is, or really what these devices are, or how the logistics of most of the stuff works.
There's a lot of
early on
in the dream world.
It is. It very much is. But
it's also dream world.
Yeah, it's also just like you can do whatever the fuck you want in there. Just dream bold, and you can have a bigger gun.
His perception of dreams.
But I do think that the emotional stuff with him and Maul, with especially, I think Marion Cotillard is so miscast in this movie, and still, just like we give no. Who was it supposed to be?
Kate Winslet.
It would have been 10 times better. Honestly, it would have been 10 times better, because I think Marion Cotillard
10 times better.
Yeah, because I think she's horrible in this movie every time I watch it. I actually think that people give her a lot of shit for Dark Knight Rises, which is that's not a bed of roses either of her performance. I think this is just as bad because they're asking so much of this character, and I don't think that she can deliver, and I don't think she has any chemistry with Leonardo DiCaprio to buy that they were a married couple. And yeah, so Winslet, who
That is true. The emotional core of this movie has a big flaw.
so that's why I think the mechanic stuff I attach to that stuff more, Jay, because the emotional stuff for me, not from DiCaprio's side, just from a bad casting standpoint, really sucks. And really
That's fine if you buy
blankets
into
some of
the
that.
mechanic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
you
is
know what I
what
mean.
he's really obsessed with in this movie, but it is like
I just think it's fun. Like
sense.
I like. I'm always going to think that stuff's fun, even though yeah, it's a little
It is
overwritten.
fun. The time distortion stuff absolutely rocks. I
It's
mean,
it's over.
it
Some
is
of it's
so
overridden
fun.
for sure, but it's like, God damn it, no one's
it's sort of
trying
the-
shit like this. Like no one's
Yeah,
doing stuff like
The
this.
problem
Like,
is it's sort of
let 'em cook,
overwritten,
you know?
overwritten, underthought. It's an interesting mix of like all sorts of just ideas.
That's what makes it kind of
which
cool.
is awesome.
That's just
which
why you
is
gotta
cool
let it go
in
with some of
theory,
that stuff because it's
But
like,
yeah, for me, I do get bogged
let
down
it
by
rock-
its
let it-
obsession with being exacting.
listen, you put stuff in the you
I
put stuff
hit
in
a
the
wall.
crock pot and you just let it simmer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just let it.
Yeah.
You just see
But he
what
wants
comes
you to
out.
believe that it's in a pressure cooker, not a crock pot.
Hell yeah. You know what I mean? Make a
It's not. It's
make
not.
a
It's
gumbo
not
in a
that
pressure
exact.
cooker.
He's
Fucking
not
that sounds
building-
awesome.
Like he thinks he's making like cubic zirconium in this accelerated diamond clad
See, this is the thing.
perfection.
This is
But
the
in,
thing that
but
makes
in
him
reality,
special.
it's like it's bubbling over the edges and all
Sure.
sorts of stuff. It's,
But
now,
but what comes out of it is some really brilliant shit. Because there's some
there's
stuff
some really brilliant shit. I
you're
agree.
just like, and you're
There's
just like,
also
but if I don't
stuff where
try,
I'm like,
if you
I
don't
get
try,
it.
then you're not
You
going to do
told
it.
me this already. Oh my god!
There is that point. There is. I got to tell you, there is that point where they get in the warehouse, right, or whatever, and like and Tom Hardy's about to, Eames is about to shoot Saito. And then Leo goes, you can't kill him because they'll go in limbo. It's like, you think you would have told us this shit like 20 minutes ago before we got into this shit? Like, it's like some of that stuff.
That is funny where they're like, no, that we have too much sedative now. Now they actually die.
Yeah, it's
Which is like because before that you're like, well, the stakes of this are extraordinarily low.
yeah,
Like,
because they can just die, wake up.
and then
Yeah,
they're
it'd be fine.
like,
They're
they
gonna,
die now.
and then they're like, and
That's
then
when
they're gonna
Oscar
just,
Isaac says, they die now.
they
they
die,
die.
they die now.
I know.
They die now.
God damn you.
God damn it.
Well, also, do you think Griffin? Let me ask you this: with DiCaprio wanting a more of that emotionality for Cobb's journey, is that, and Nolan obviously abiding by it? Was that ultimately like I don't know? I kind of feel like that's appeasing the biggest actor in the world that can get your original project greenlit more than maybe 110% a choice of his, but he made it work in his own way. You know what
Right. I mean, do you not think that Nolan was also looking to get like a like an emotional catharsis out of the experience as well?
I think he was wondering it about Cobb. I don't know about the whole the necessary about, you know, I mean the whole journey of this is about Cobb getting home to his children. I think
right,
this,
that, which is very Nolan.
Which is very
think
Nolan
the-
about it.
Obsession. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing about the dynamic with Maul is that that is almost like it feels like a fear of his, the woman that he loves is distorted into this is distorted into this monster because of decisions he's made in his personal life that in his professional life that has affected his personal life. So like you're talking about like Marion Cotillard and not really like buying her in the role and not really buying their chemistry. I buy them in the flashbacks. I don't, which are, you know, they're not really flashbacks so much as they are just like little vignettes of them together. It feels like intimate.
they're
and
the real memories. Yeah.
Right. But I think she is also intentionally not playing the kind
that's
of character
interesting.
that you want her to play because that's how Cobb views her. He views
It's
her
a
as he
projection.
literally has a line in the end of the
I
film
can
where it's
buy
like,
that.
you're just a shade of like the woman I used to know.
That's
Like
okay. That's interesting.
Like he's feeding himself with this version of her because it's the only thing that he can grab onto that keeps her alive instead
And
of
how diluted is that version of it at this point?
well, no, yeah, exactly. And so it's like he's he's kind of like paralyzed by the past, and she is the representative of that. I think it's interesting. It's like we're talking so much about the nostalgia we have for this movie. I think this movie is almost like a cautionary tale about holding on to nostalgia too much until the point where it's just become completely distorted. And it's lost.
God, that's so true.
It's just lost all meaning, right? It's just become hollow.
It's a movie about movies as much as
yeah, it is.
Yeah, I mean, like the last time I watched it, that was one of the things that really locked on that I locked onto, and I think the only way that like Cobb is able to get the closure and achieve the catharsis that he's really looking for throughout the course of the film is being honest with himself, with like not only where he's at this point in life, but the choices that he's made, holding on to the moments and the certain memories that conjures up. That's fine. I think that's part of life, and that's the kind of stuff that you pull from in order to create. But he is unable to create anymore because he has stopped living, and he is living in specific scenes of his past, like literal recreations. And so, like, to the point, like he says in the film, it's like he can't imagine Mal with all her complexities, her perfection and imperfection, and all that stuff like that, because he never experienced it. So he is only drawing from like a very, like you said, a very diluted, specific interpretation of this woman. She is like a ghost that is haunting him throughout the course of the film. So I think with that in mind, I actually quite like Marion Cotillard in this role. Would it have been better maybe with a Kate Winslet? Sure, because that adds an interesting metatextual dynamic, just by nature of it being Leo and Kate in this almost a role reversal, right? Like it's like Leo's the one who survives off the Titanic instead of, anyways. But so yeah, I don't know. That to me is always I find really, really interesting about just like the dangers of living in the past at the expense your future, and specifically as a creative, you're always drawing from personal experiences, but when you stop having those experiences, when you completely box yourself in, you're only it's like self-cannibalization. You just keep pulling from the same things until like the meaning, the stuff that gives art life is just completely exhausted.
I don't love the Cotillard performance necessarily, but
sure,
the thing about the Mal character that I do love, the dynamic of the one time that Cobb has incepted before resulted in the death of the woman he loved most. Mm-hmm. And now he has to incept again in an effort to rediscover a relationship with his children. That's really compelling. And I like that a lot. And this idea of incepting this sense that the reality that Mal is in is not actually reality, and that sort of just compounding with each dream state that she goes back down to the point where she's in the reality, but she still doesn't believe it's the reality. Mm-hmm. That's really clever and smart. It's also very Matrix. This movie is so inspired by the Matrix.
Yeah, I definitely get a lot of that. Yeah.
But it is really effective as an idea, and certainly as a piece of imagery, where you have this woman sitting on the edge of the building denying that the world that she exists in is reality. I think that stuff is very, very effective, in part because we don't understand what that means until far later in the movie. So it's one of those things that is actually not explained to us until later, where you are lingering just like, what happened here? That's crazy. And then it is so funny that this movie, everyone acts like it is so life and death. It's about preventing a merger. It's very funny that is like the core conflict of the film. I mean, really what it's about is Cobb. Obviously, there's money involved, and Cobb wants to get access back to his children. He wants the government to basically say, I didn't kill my wife. He's pulling a fugitive. But it is very funny to me that it's just like, you need to prevent this merger from happening, or else there will be a monopoly. Oh, say less, Saito. We've got this under control.
Yeah, no, that is funny. Yeah, I think the idea. I mean, why? I think the reason why people, chalk this film up to being an allegory for the filmmaking process in general is just the idea of inception, right? Like the idea of something planting an idea in your mind that then grows into something else. And to be careful not to let that thing define the specifics of your life, but rather as to be a source of inspiration. So like for this film, it's obvious that Nolan is pulling from his love of Bond, even down to the point of Fisher, which is a character named after James Bond's cover name in You Only Live Twice. I actually made a note of that. So it's very clear and that's a film that he watched when he was growing up. So that had an impact on him. So like you have this character and this journey that is forcing Cobb to come to terms with his own personal demons that he's going on, and you can see the relation in the own personal the way he relates to Fisher's story. And then I think you can see in a meta level how like the Bond films have kind of influenced Nolan as a filmmaker, where he's like pulling from inspirations and whatnot in order to create his own thing. It explores his own relationship with the Bond series. The fact that like artists act instinctually, both making conscious and subconscious decisions, and sometimes they know the origin of those things, sometimes they don't know the origin of those things, and I think you see all of that kind of coming into play as they venture further and further into the dream world, which I find really fascinating.
I mean, there's very much a one-to-one correlation, right? Like,
yeah,
Cobb is the director.
Yeah.
Saito is the financier. Arthur, who we haven't even talked about. I don't think we've mentioned Joseph Gordon-Levitt one time in this conversation. Yeah. He's the producer. Eames is the...
It's like the tech guy.
Actor.
Obviously.
He's the actor.
Oh, is it the actor? Oh, yeah, he's kind of the actor.
Yeah.
The chemist is like
Ariadne is sort of the like writer / production designer, a little bit in between.
I would say it's screenwriter. I was so like you're creating the character is creating this world, and and then the director plays in it. Essentially, everybody plays in it.
You could say Yusuf is maybe like the tech behind the scenes.
Yeah, because he's
person.
Yeah, he's got all the craft services.
One thing I really like is when
because he's got the
first in the van dreamscape where the reason it's raining so hard is because Yusuf had to pee. Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. Good. I don't think I caught that until this one.
That's really good. It's really good
very
stuff.
Funny.
You had to have all that free champagne.
Nolan is kind of funny.
He is.
Earlier in the series, I was like, Nolan's not funny. And
dude, like this is funny. The complaint
he's a cheeky fellow, man.
He is so dude. Those Dark Knight movies are hilarious. There's so many zingers in there. It's not like Marvel one-liners or whatever that people like that
completely deflate the tension.
Yeah, right. It's just like this is just like clever dialogue that actually sticks and is like situationally funny. Yeah. And so like you're mentioning,
Joker
like
is very funny.
Yeah.
Hardy is hysterical in this movie.
This was like the
so good in this
explosion
movie.
of Tom Hardy. This is when people like recognize who
this
he was.
This is when Leo was like, I may have problems with all this other shit going on in this movie, but I like that Tom Hardy guy. Maybe I should work with him again down the road, No, he's great in this movie. He's
Hardy went on a run after this.
He is like a bolt of lightning in this thing. And Gordon-Levitt too was at this point of his career where he was having to come back. He had 500 Days of Summer, I believe, this year or the year before, and then went on a run for like the next 5 years.
He's doing now?
He's doing like tech stuff.
Yeah,
right?
He's like
stuff. In front of Congress on behalf of AI.
No,
he's like pro AI.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought he was. I thought he was anti.
No, his wife is like a big AI person.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I might be wrong about that, but that has been.
I thought it was the other way around because he's all about
too.
I thought because he's a big creative freedom kind of guy. Because
he has been, because he did the
hit record
Joe thing which
Yeah.
was very like pro creator.
We might need to look this up right now just to make
I,
sure.
I,
literally
don't want to. I
just-
don't want to
yeah.
blaspheme Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So
Yeah,
let
like,
me look it up. Let me look it
it
up.
would very much contradict the shit out of Hit Record if he was like pro AI.
Yeah, no. He's not. He was advocating. Well, this was the thing I read is like Utah lawmakers to regulate AI because he's worried about like his kids growing up in a future that's amoral or
All right.
something.
So
like
you
that.
heard it here first. Jay almost tried to slander Joseph Gordon-Levitt on the Inception
Yeah.
podcast. Maybe we'll have to
He's
go
also he's also been pretty vocal against AI through Hit Record on the Substack channel. And
Wow.
everything. Yeah.
But his wife's involved in it?
I have no idea what his wife's
Jay?
role is in it.
Jay, what are you doing? You're trying to
Hold
like
on.
take
Let me
down
look it
Joseph
up.
Gordon-Levitt.
Hold on. I'm gonna
To
look it
be
up.
fair, I think the first time that I came across like the Joseph Gordon-Levitt AI thing, I was like, oh, are you like speaking out in favor?
So
of it or
there's
not?
like kind of a little bit of like one of those like, what are you saying here, Joe?
Yeah, I couldn't. But then the more you read into it, he's like, oh no, he's like very.
So what you're
very-
saying is on this issue he was a little 50-50.
No, I think he's.
I like
against
50-50.
AI. He's
50-50 is a
50.
good movie. 50-50 is a
I
very
like
good movie.
50-50.
50-50.
It's one of the few Rogan performances I can stand.
Wow, hot take.
Yeah.
I think Rogan. I can't stand that studio show. Sorry,
Oh come on!
I can't stand it. Oh,
do hate-
it's
you
so
do hate
funny.
that show.
Oh, it's a wonder. Oh, look at us. We're making fun of Hollywood and we're making fun of ourselves. It's so stupid. Oh, they're gonna go to Venice and they're gonna probably say something about counting minutes and variety or something. So stupid. It's the dumbest show. It really is. It's a complete waste of time. I think also, I've said this before, but it shouldn't be Rogan as the lead. It should be Barinholtz should be the studio head. He should be the lead of that show.
Maybe that's season 2. Maybe that's season 2.
Yeah, fire Rogan.
Yeah. There you go.
And just put somebody else up the front, and I think it would be good. Get Joseph Gordon-Levitt to do it. He's clearly needs something to do.
Did you guys ever watch that? This is like way in the weeds, but did you ever watch that show where he was like the teacher on Apple? It was like Mr.
Oh.
something.
No, because I feel like he was like the biggest star in the world for 5 minutes, and then people said, "Okay, that's enough of that. Let's like not do that anymore."
That
You know?
it only got one season. I really liked it. I thought it was a delightful, interesting show.
But I like him. I
I
genuinely
watched
think
his
he's
plane movie.
Which plane movie?
He played a pilot. I believe that was an Apple movie as well.
Really?
The only
Yeah, it was like a single setting movie.
Oh, okay. He was in The Walk. Remember The Walk?
like the
Oh,
Yeah, the
the
Zemeckis.
plane movie
7500,
was called
yeah.
7500.
yeah.
All right.
I remember
He
that.
had the-
I believe is hijacked by terrorists, and he's the
But
pilot.
he had like a run where he had 500 Days of Summer. He had this. He had 50-50, Premium Rush, The Dark Knight
Looper.
Rises, Looper, The Walk, Snowden. Remember Snowden?
No, of course we
Um,
do.
He was like in everything.
Yeah, he
Yeah, but
was
then
in
you know what he
everything.
did?
Hit record.
No, he made Don John.
Oh,
Hey, don't be dissing
He made
Don
Don John.
John.
He made Don John. That's
I
right.
That's
love
what
Don
ruined
John.
his reputation, though. I maintain that Don John killed him.
Why did it ruin his reputation? Because it's so amateurish.
No, I actually don't.
I don't
that's
think
like
it's
a
that
poorly
bad.
Directed
I don't think it's that
movie.
bad either.
Yeah,
It's like it's fine. It felt like a very Sundancey sort of movie.
that is
right?
weird. I do think it kind of killed him, and it made $40 million on a $5 million budget.
Yeah, because he
It's
was a
not
big
that
star at the
bad,
time. You
But
know?
it's kind of embarrassing in subject matter, and it's like, all right, man.
I think it's a conversation that people should feel comfortable having. So,
I think I agree with you, but I think it hurt him unfairly.
oh yeah,
I gotta
no, agree.
tell you this. It honestly would be a movie that played a hell of a lot better today than it did back then, given that Gen Z sort of like existential qualms about sex and you know and everything. No, I'm serious. I'm not dreaming. I'm not even lying about that.
No. Yeah,
I actually
yeah.
think it would be a really like a movie that they should probably like look at. Now, I'm not saying that Don John's the deepest film in the world, But what I'm saying is that it does have some issues on its mind about its main character,
I think, yeah.
that are very fascinating. Um, but actually, someone we haven't talked about a lot is Elliot Page in this film,
Hmm.
and
Mhm.
want to give the context just out there for everybody is that when talking about this performance, when we're talking about Ariadne or Elliot Page, we're going to use they them pronouns for the most part, because at the time of this, of making
I
this
just think
film,
the Ariadne character is a she, her in the film. Elliot
yes,
Page is
is different
he,
than
him with regards to their performance.
there's different
Yeah.
times
It's a tightrope walk
in
for
his
sure.
life,
But we do
when he
not
made this film.
mean any offense whatsoever. We
Exactly. We just
try
want to
to.
make that clear out there for everybody. But I found that character this go round to be, because I always kind of thought that character was a little bit thin. I actually kind of found the character a lot more interesting this go round. And I honestly wish that by the end, when Ariadne's sort of making these decisions and really forcing Cobb to finally, almost like a therapist in a way, embrace his past and speak out his mistakes and confront Maul, or his tortured projection of Maul. I kind of feel like I still needed more from the character. I wanted more from the character. I don't know. There was
Mm.
something about the fact that this was as much about Cobb's journey, but really by the end of it and watching this film, her Ariadne's journey into this world is not only just the audience's journey, and obviously, her representing in the film analogy of a screenwriter, um, but it's her world that they're building for Fisher here. And I do feel that there could have been even more that she was involved with, by the end, rather than being sort of just the person that's asking a shit ton of questions
Mm.
throughout the film. I think by the end, a better, maybe a more mature Nolan, or maybe just a better grasp of the fact that I think he kind of turned that character as the film goes on into just as much of an interesting character as Cobb. And it took me years to kind of get to that point of that character is not just there to be a surrogate, but more to get our character to understand the flaws that they have within inside of them.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's fair. I mean, I think the the way that she leaves Cobb at the end. I mean, she's kind of holding his hand along the way as he's making these uh revelation, or not revelation, but he's making these changes within his own psyche. And at the end, like, she is literally, like, he's in a situation where it's like she has to leave, and so now he has to take all of the tools that she's helped him um get collect throughout the journey, and then he has to do it himself. I think she has a better, I think by the ending she gets the process now, and she understands what this whole thing is about, and she has helped Cobb along the way as best she can, as being the novice with a different perspective that can help him address the demons that he's been hesitant to. But yeah, and so by the end, I think she gets through with it, and she's hoping that he'll be able to. She's putting her faith in him to be able to pull the whole thing off after she's removed herself from the situation, and it's up to Cobb to prove her, to reward her faith, which is a big thing. I mean,
Yeah.
literally something that was in the Dark Knight, which is there's literally the line in the closing monologue about, like, people
Rewarding
need to have their
faith.
faith rewarded. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that is another iteration of that for Cobb.
I love that moment though,
sure.
with like her and Arthur towards the end, but also that moment that, oh God, that Robert has at the end with his uncle, even though it's a projection there still.
Yeah, yeah.
We got to talk about Robert here for a second, but I do have to ask I think maybe this is the biggest question of this. And Griffin, you were mentioning there at the end, and we've kind of talked about it with Ariadne a bit there too, which also,
Yeah.
I also think like that the scenes of her genuinely terrified of like death inside of the world and also of Maul, and that projection it's really messed her up, and so it would have been very interesting to kind of with a continuation see how Ariadne would respond in a not so crazy situation that Cobb has put her in.
Right.
But the ending of this film, Griffin, you mentioned this earlier as something that was talked about and discussed, and it is the sort of Nolan thing of having a puzzle box and an ending that people leave and talk about. Nolan has been very keeping of his cards to his chest about what he believes to be this ending because he kind of learned from Memento not to do it. He kind of went out and explained a little bit too much at a screening one time, and Jonathan Nolan, the story goes, told him to shut the hell up, because if you tell everybody what it is, then you take away half the mystery, not even just half the mystery, the whole mystery. This is what Jay and I would coin as the Darren Aronofsky mother problem if you do that. And so I got to ask you guys, like,
it breaks the theme if you know the answer, though. I mean, that's the thing. I don't think Christopher Nolan knows the answer.
I think he does.
I disagree.
I think
that's
he
my
does.
Theory.
Yeah.
No, I think he does know.
It is reality or not.
I
think the ambiguity is entirely the point.
Well, I was going to ask Griffin first. Griffin, do you have I mean, obviously everybody's got their own version of what they think happens in that final shot.
Yeah.
Because I think if whatever you believe in that final shot then rearranges some of the pieces of the puzzle that is within the film that we've seen. And there are massive theories as to when, if it isn't spinning and he is still inside of a dream, then like when did it flip? Like, you know what I mean? When did his reality stop and the dreams begin? Or there is the idea of that it is wobble. You kind of see a minor wobble.
Right.
Griffin, where do you see
that little wobble
the top?
Is
everything.
Trick.
It's a nice touch.
It's genius. It's absolutely brilliant. I think there was a point in time. I think there was a point in time where I viewed it
both
one
ways.
way, viewed it the other. Yeah, both ways. Yeah, I think there was I think the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, cool, he made it home. But I wasn't quite convinced on that. And so the next couple times I was like, nah, I think he's stuck in the dream world. I think that this is unfortunate. It's the tragic nature of it is he gets to see his kids again, but he's not in reality. And then ultimately, what I think is the answer, and what I think the point of it is that it doesn't really matter. It's the emotional release of that interaction that matters. It's the emotional release of the filmmaker exploring these ideas and then leaving it all on the screen, and whether or not you as an audience are able to understand what Nolan himself got out of it doesn't matter. I think the thing is that Cobb comes to recognize and confront the baggage that he's carried with him from Maul's death throughout the entire life, and he pushes through it and he sets himself free. And in so doing, regardless of whether or not he makes it home or not, he allows himself to see his kids again without the guilt of everything that's happened. And I think the top, to me, is symbolic of the journey he went through. It's almost like that of coins or tokens that you would give to an addict who's come clean, something like that. And so it's a product of the labors and everything that had led to that moment. And so for the case of Nolan, I think that top represents the film we just watched. And so the genius of that moment is that Nolan denies you an overt answer. You're building to this. You're looking for this, like, okay, is he going to make it home? Is he not going to make it home? And Nolan's just like, if you were actually watching the movie, then you would understand that this emotional finale, this crescendo, is what matters. It's the emotional impact you are left with. It's not the logistics of everything. And so I think that's kind of the fun of it, and that's what frustrates people is when they get hooked on to the I think what's, again, kind of going back to what we were talking about at the beginning, what's brilliant about this movie is that it trains you to watch movies on an emotional level, to feed your emotional intelligence as much as it's trying, you're wanting it to feed your logistic, for lack of a better phrase, intelligence. And so yeah, I mean, like there's catharsis to be had from all of this. I'm sure there was catharsis for Nolan as well. And if you relate with these characters, if you relate with any of the experiences, you'll probably understand it more on a deeper level. But even if you're not privy to those things or the exact details of what Nolan was going through, I think the thing is it's just a movie about that encourages you to move past these barriers and live your life instead of trying to exist in the mind of someone else, instead of trying to figure it out. It's like it's not about trying to figure it out. It's about trying to let the experience wash over you, be more in touch with your own emotions and feelings, and create new memories, whether it's watching this movie or else or otherwise. I think that's the power of this film, is its ability to connect you with the reason we watch movies.
Jay, that's a great answer from Griffin, right?
I mean, I have a very similar interpretation of that. I would say I have a slightly more cynical interpretation of that final scene. Shocking, I know.
Which is?
I think, that scene in The Matrix where Cypher is eating the steak and he's sort of like, I am denying actual reality and engaging with and kind of accepting this false reality as my reality. I view this as an extension of Cobb sort of rejecting this idea that he can't have everything that he wants. And whether it is the real world or not, he is saying, I get to be with my kids now. This is the temporality that I now exist in. And I think that does extend to this idea of Cobb as the director of the film, which this like the movie is a movie thing is stuff that no one has explicitly stated. This isn't complete interpretation. He's like, yes, this person is this and this person is this. And so when you kind of expand that out to Cobb as the director, he is completely consumed by his art and completely kind of taking what he has created as truth, as some sort of artistic truth, while also feeling this sense of longing. And I think this is very true of so many Nolan works. Nolan doesn't like that he's away from his children so much. Yeah. And I think this is that sort of ultimate combination of, hey, with this, I get to fully embrace my art and still be with my children. So it is this perfect, potentially false existence that Cobb allows himself to be consumed by. And whether it is technically like the reality or some sort of extended dream state, he is embracing that because Mal is no longer a part of this temporality and he can move on one way or another, whether that remains true down the road and whether, his subconscious projects Mal at one point or another is completely yet to be seen until we get Inception 2, which coming up after the Odyssey flops, we're going to get Inception 2.
Yeah.
And Odyssey is going to make so much money. But
it doesn't matter.
It is to me, it is very much it doesn't matter. It is Cobb embracing the reality that he now accepts and believes to be some form of truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Real quickly.
Okay.
I just want to real quickly just go off of that. I think if you want to go off of your interpretation of like he has accepted this false reality of his reality because he's gone through the experience of letting go of that baggage, of rewiring his mind and freeing himself from that trauma, his mind is working differently. He as a person is different. So taking all of that, going into, even if he's still in a false reality, he's able to create again. He's able to make new memories, whether or not they're existing in the real world or not, because he's opened himself up. He's freed himself from everything that was holding him back. So yeah, like you could still have that. I think was, again, the beauty of this is that it is that open-ended interpretation, but you can still have that cynical read and still, land on the point that it's like the character has freed himself and is able to, move on with his life in a
and also
fulfilling
what has he experienced? Father-son reconciliation, like intense emotional reconciliation with Fisher and his father.
Yeah.
And so in part, he kind of views himself to a certain extent as the architect, improper term in the context of this movie, but as in large part sort of the architect of this grand fatherly reconciliation and sort of forgiveness. And I think that to an extent allows him to project that sense of reconciliation onto himself and allow him to accept the reality, whether it is true, quote unquote, reality or not, and kind of embrace the fatherly responsibility that he yearns for.
Yeah.
Well, his version of Inception here and what they're doing is not to, I think in a lot of ways, destroy, but is to reconcile and have someone that, if you're looking at Fisher, that is had a deeply troubled relationship with his father, and at this moment is actually going to hopefully find a place for him to heal that's difficult relationship throughout the film, especially by the end of the pinwheel scene. That Cillian Murphy, he's incredible in that moment with Postlewaite, who, I mean, Murphy talked about this a long time after, but that how much he revered Postlewaite as an actor. And
it's very Magnolia.
It's very Magnolia, but it's also just extremely you could feel how effortless those two actors are in that moment for them to reach that catharsis.
Cillian Murphy, good actor.
He's pretty goddamn good at what he does. I have an answer for you both.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going how I've always felt about this movie, I've always thought just that it's going to topple over.
Mm-hmm.
And in that's the ending.
You're even more cynical than I am.
I think that it does, and I think ultimately when you're doing but it still can be true about him being in a dream state. And while that spinning top goes and life moves on, the reason why for years, people have said like, oh, well, his kids stay the same age. Of course they do. Because the last time he saw him and the lasting image that he has of those children, regardless, is of them when he left. They'll always be that young. You always hear your parents maybe always say like, oh, you'll always be my little kid. You'll always be that little kid that bugged me. You'll always be that, that age in my brain. Like I'm wired to always believe of you to be at a certain age or a certain time in your life. Like I'll never think of you as just an adult now. You know what I mean? Griffin, I'm sure that happens to you. Jay, that's probably happened to you. It's definitely happened to me as I've gotten older, as, I've gotten married and we've, had milestones and, especially I think might have that, Jay, I don't know if that's been the case with you when you have a child, but like you want them to stay that age forever in your head, even as they're growing. And
the days are long and the years are short.
Exactly. And I think the other thing about that too is that the kid who plays his son in that scene is actually one of Nolan's sons. So it does bring that meta contextuality of the fact that like as kind of puzzle boxy and maybe even cynical about the world that we don't know about Christopher Nolan, or even inside of it and how twisty it can all get.
He loves his family so
He's
much.
a sentimentalist at the core of himself.
Two things. IMAX film and his family.
And the concept of time.
And he hates cell phones.
Yes, he does. And so I think that there is something about the fact that Cobb, yes, by that point it doesn't matter if it topples over to the audience. At that point, it's that spinning top is for the audience. It is not for him. He has given that up. He has moved on. He has faced the fact that he can live in a world where those children are back in his arms and that he's home and that he can be there regardless.
Do you think if you got Christopher Nolan 3 old fashions deep and asked him for an answer, he would have one? Or I think he would just go, it doesn't matter.
I think he would say that I want to be home with my kids, and that's his answer. You know, like I think that he would.
I don't think he shot that scene being like, you know, doing the Ridley Scott thing of in Blade Runner where it's like, I'm trying to imply that he is a robot.
No, but I think what we're all saying is true, which is that I think that he's saying that the director's home and that everything outside of Hollywood, which is that spinning top and what an audience is interested in, doesn't matter to him anymore.
Yeah.
So the totem is for the audience. It's the driving force to keep you back on track to finish the quest. But what matters,
that's what people talked about coming out of the theater.
Exactly. Yeah. Because that's the fucking point.
He knows what the people want.
Yeah.
And he's tapped into it better. He can say, yeah, I'm going to spin that top. And they're all going to keep dancing. And they're all going to keep wondering. And I'm going to stay home in my suit, in a blazer, and wear brown pants and a black shirt. And guess what? I'm Christopher Nolan.
What if every character dressed like Christopher Nolan?
Exactly. And then I'm going to be home with my kids because that at the end of the day is my reality. They are my reality, not the things I create.
It's very sweet.
You know? It's a very
nice guy. He seems like such a nice guy.
It's very sweet. You know, and for Cobb, there is the acceptance, but if Cobb is Nolan and Nolan is this, and you're having this meta-contextuality,
the movie doesn't explain to you.
And it doesn't need to, because you want to know why? Because you don't have to explain the love that a parent has for a child.
No, I don't need to explain everything.
You don't need to. It's right there. Like, you know, like I don't have to explain shit to you. That's my that's my kids. I don't have to explain any of this.
If Ariadne was in that scene, we would have known.
Yeah.
The whole movie is giving you the tools so that when you get to that moment, much like a parent with a child, you will now have the tools in order to think for yourself.
But he does play everybody off, like from the moment he gets into like customs and everything. He does play everybody off like projections, because it really is like, you know what, we've gone on this great journey, and there could have been like this all this moment and everything, and even his own father is like a projection really at this point. By the end of it, it's like, I don't give a shit about any of you people. You're all nameless faces to me at this point, because I got through the gates, and guess what? I'm going home to my kids. Like, he really, his reality, he's going back to his version of paradise, of paradise that he can create. Like, he's already done that with Maul. This is now the paradise where he will, you know, take care of these kids and live out his days. Is that or the real world? Who gives a shit? It's his reality, and that's how he's going to live with it.
His reality.
And so, and it's really great.
Can I ask a question? Why do all of the dreams in this movie look like a cityscape? Why do they all look like a Michael Mann movie? It's a dream. They could be anything. Well, if the director is Christopher Nolan, if Cobb is Christopher Nolan, in the world of the movie, we have like 4 different levels of dreamer, right? And they all look like Chicago. Sure.
I mean, I think each level of
damn you, Jay, don't ruin this,
is designed to emulate something that is. I mean, I don't know the relation to the characters necessarily. I'm assuming they're just drawing.
I don't know. I mean, they could be
creating spaces, but
I don't know. There is. I'm sorry, Griffin. Go ahead.
Oh no. Well, what I was gonna say is that I think from the filmmaker's perspective, he's drawing from things that have inspired him, whether it's like the Majesty's base climax in the snow, or like you mentioned the Michael Mann aesthetic and heat and such. Like it just feels like these are inspirations that have informed Nolan that he's just kind of woven into the fabric of the movie, both in terms of just like the way the film kind of flows and operates, but also some of the set pieces, some of the designs. Yeah.
Jay, can I also say something to answer your
projection of his world, which is
so?
And also, we need to talk about one thing that we haven't brought up. The man is colorblind, and you can kind of tell in Inception. It is a very beige movie.
Yeah,
it is not exactly Suspiria.
That is true, but I will say there is something though. To your point, Jay, of like the levels of things, I do think back to when Joseph Gordon-Levitt is talking about the idea of Inception, right? And the idea of dreamscapes and putting in a something in someone's mind, right? I do think visually, they're all shared within these worlds. Like I'm assuming Ariadne has told the layouts of these places to everybody involved, and so or one way or another. So that they can manipulate or they can move it within themselves.
And I think also the point is like it's supposed to simulate something resembling reality so that he believes it's
true. And then maybe a consistent reality as well. But then also I also kind of felt like this go around of like that, and this might be a little bit too cutesy, but it is something about like the idea of a world and projecting, and then if you're going into somebody else through that world, the last thing that they see in terms of then they're creating a path for them to continue down this rabbit hole would be within or adjacent to what they just previously were a part of. And so it's almost like they get to do the cop. Right. It almost feels like if we're doing a meta commentary on things, it is the world of like when people make a Dark Knight or they make a Pulp Fiction or they make an important film, the copy of a copy of a copy being put inside of this thing. And great directors can then make their copy or their version of that and it not be artificial. And then there are some people that literally play within that same space and it's terrible. It's awful. We've talked about that before in history. So, and that's up for the filmmakers and it's up for the new people behind those worlds to create it. It also could be an idea of a sequel and what a sequel does. And it sort of dilutes the value and as the scale of these places get bigger and locations feel somewhat grander. They don't feel as fresh and original as the initial place that they're a part of. So there's a bunch of things that you can kind of go off of answer that.
It's a generous interpretation. Thank you
very much. I'm glad that you think it's generous.
You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling. I wish you had shot like a giant squid or something. Like infinite possibilities. The biggest thing I can think of is a grenade launcher.
Hey, sometimes
I get
you just gotta get the trick done.
It is meant to depict something, a dream that resembles reality. It also speaks to Christopher Nolan's very, very strict aesthetic. So, for better or worse, he's a master of that aesthetic, but it is a strict aesthetic.
There's so much there, and then within there, though, there's still. I do think that the dilution of that and then like the copy of a copy, because inside those like heist films or within studio comedies or whatever genre you want, there are some movies where they're okay, but they've got a scene. And that's what like the hallway scene reminds me of a little bit. It's like, oh man, this isn't Michael Mann, and it isn't something else either. It's its own thing. And that's what makes you want to watch that movie.
Great. That is the one thing where you're like, this feels familiar, but is also completely new.
Yeah, exactly.
That hallway scene is unbelievable.
That's where it's like you're talking about like this movie's The Matrix, but yet then it has sequences like this that while The Matrix has its own revolutionary sequences, and spoiler alert, I think that The Matrix is a better movie than Inception. There are moments in here where it gets to be its own thing outside of familiarities of plots and devices that we've seen before.
The snow stuff, I will say, I like it a lot. It is too monochromatic.
You wish it was like what?
I wish you could tell the people apart. That would be cool.
Oh, like you wish it was like black jumpsuits versus white jumpsuits a little bit or something like that.
Something. I mean,
Add a little color to it. Red
the
dot,
bad guys
red
have
dot,
like
blue dot.
very light gray digital camo, right?
Yeah.
And the good guys are in all white.
But it looks beautiful though.
It is just
fantastic.
if you just sit back and watch it, you're like,
Can we, Jay? Can we?
He loves that brutalist architecture.
Can we finally have a conversation about Wally Pfister? Because I feel like we haven't talked about him.
Yeah, because he's
really
like
in any of this series.
He's the second best cinematographer that Christopher Nolan has ever worked with. Yeah.
Can we? But like we really haven't talked a lot about him in our other episodes, and I kind of feel like this is where he gets to cook the most.
I might be mean to him and just say that Hoyt van Hoytema is a significant upgrade from Wally
yes,
Pfister.
well, obviously yes, and that's.
But at the same time, there's something I miss about that aesthetic though from this period of time that Nolan was working with.
A little more
like it's
gritty.
like I agree. He graduated to a much better.
He graduated to the
cinematographer.
man.
Right,
You know
the
what I
guy,
mean?
right? Like he
the guy of his generation. Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
But there was, I don't know, there was something aesthetically that Nolan and Pfister had going on there that I do miss sometimes. I think it was striking without being without drawing too much attention to itself, I guess. Like
it's
I think
less painterly for sure.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
less like
you
every
talk-
frame of painting kind of stuff.
There's less like
Right,
vistas
right.
and like wider shots, and there's just it feels just more tight. Like
Well,
Pfister
you were
is
talking about
you know.
You were talking about his love of like brutalist architecture. I thought Pfister really fit that
Here.
you know, that palette nicely. It also just like I think like these early movies feel very noir. Like they feel very like they feel drawn from the same guy who made Following and stuff like that.
This is This is in the lineage of Memento.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Pfister fit that aesthetic
Agreed.
very well. Yeah.
Boots on the ground, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was very good. He did move on to Hoyt van Hoytema, who is like one of the greats of all time. And
Right.
Pfister's
Who's God. Yeah. Basically. Yeah.
What happened with Transcendence?
yeah, because that's what sort of broke them up, right?
Well,
Wally Pfister wanted to be a director. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, he was like, let
That went great.
me have my crack at this, and Nolan's like, you probably shouldn't do that, and
But he still backed him. He still produced it.
he still because God damn it, that man is loyal,
He's a good guy.
and it was maybe one of the worst films of the 2010s.
It was pretty bad.
There are
it's-
cinematographers who have become good directors.
Yeah.
But it's very rare in the modern era. I would think more so it happened in the
It killed his
past.
career. I
He
just
really
can't believe
did.
that
It did.
like he is not. I
He
correct me if I'm
built
wrong,
off.
but
He kind of like took Nolan's name. It was his own version of a puzzle box.
yeah.
And my God, it's the
mean,
most dull
Look,
film.
Transcendence
of the
was his Don John, is what we're saying.
not in that sense, Jay. Like it was a much bigger film.
yeah.
It had. I mean, say what you want about John.
it basically killed his reputation. He
It
Oh, it
did.
did. Yeah.
It destroyed it.
Good
I mean,
Lord,
like
he hasn't
at least
shot
Joseph
a
Gordon.
movie since Dark Knight Rises. What? is
Yeah, no,
going on?
seriously, like that was it. That was the end of him. Was
Is he even
Transcendence.
doing TV?
No,
So he's not doing anything.
no, he's like this man
I
may
didn't
be
know
on
it was that
unemployment
bad.
right now.
Yeah, it's like he gave up.
Commercials and TV. Oh, he shot The Tick, the Amazon show,
Not doing a whole lot there.
and he shot Flaked, the Will Arnett Netflix show.
So
Really
he's just like,
He's
Cooked.
unemployed.
My
Yeah.
man.
yeah, my God, that's
I
never
don't feel
been.
bad, but like the hubris, you know, it's just like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah, but I could tell you this.
But surely somebody would be like, shoot
this
my movie.
this
please.
is not a shot at him. But when you watch Interstellar and all those movies on,
Can I tell you something, Ryan? That sounds like a shot at him.
it is, but you're just kind of like, I don't know if you. There are moments in Interstellar, honestly, and Jay, when you rewatch it, you'll understand it because Jay hasn't seen it since his lukewarm reception on it in the theaters years ago.
holy shit.
Yeah, I know,
And I'm a dad now.
and he's a dad now, so maybe it'll change. But Griffin, you know this,
Yeah.
like the the docking sequence alone. There's no way he could do that. Like there's
Wally Pfister could never. No.
He couldn't do that. Like there's some stuff on the beach, like the aerial sequences in Dunkirk. The Los Alamos sequences. My
Wally
God,
Pfister would not make me cry watching a plane fly across the sky.
Now I do think
Dunkirk.
Pfister could do the temporal pincer movements. I do think he could do Tenet.
Would it be as visceral though?
But it would not be as viscerally awesome looking as it looks.
That was actually shot by like some sort of higher being.
Yeah,
that was not shot by a
the
human.
temporal pincer movie.
Yeah, that was shot by God himself.
Yeah,
like, the entire
God said,
climax,
"Let him cook."
Yeah. The entire climax of Tenet fucking blows my mind. I don't know how the fuck they did that. That is truly one of the great
gotta say though
miracles of filmmaking.
Go back to Hoyte though if I'm going to give him a shot.
Yeah, Hoyte is God.
I gotta say, I need to see some footage from this Odyssey movie that's wowed me because most of it hasn't.
Damn.
We
got a skeptic over here.
Listen,
come on.
Brian's joining my side.
Even
listen.
Like let's put it this way.
No, the Trojan horse sequence is really good, but like everything since, I'm like, is there a reason why this was the only thing once again shown at CinemaCon? Like I need to know.
Well, we're gonna talk about it on the pod, man.
Yeah,
I feel like even if it's lesser Nolan, it will still be.
It's still gonna rock because it's better than like Minions and Monsters. You know what I mean?
I think
Spider-Man
Inception
Brand New
is
Day.
lesser.
Like-
Oh my God, Spider-Man Brand New Day is gonna come out like what, a week after or something like that, and
maybe
you're gonna
a
see
week before
or a week
I
before.
want to see that in Disney. What's it called?
The Infinity Vision. Yeah,
Jesus, fuck.
That's gonna be awesome.
I
can't wait for
you're so
Infinity
full.
Vision.
You're so full of shit.
Infinity Vision.
You're so
I'm
full.
pumped.
Griffin, you know what that is, right? The Infinity
Yeah,
Vision?
no, I know.
Okay.
It's the fake. It's actually the non-IMAX.
It's the non-IMAX,
It's
It's actually not even a format.
It's the
just
double
the
IMAX.
It's the non-Dolby Dolby. Is what
Yeah,
it
Right.
is.
Yeah.
exactly what
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like a. It's like a.
It's a
stamp of
desperate cash
approval.
grab from an entity that's falling apart.
We can charge
Yeah,
you an extra
well-
$1.50.
Maybe they should move Doomsday.
I mean, I do think Dune is going to clean its clock, like
Well, quality-wise, yeah, but
quality-wise, but they should.
Avengers is going to make a lot more money than Dune.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
I don't know. I think
If
that's.
the Knicks
I mean,
make the finals and Timmy gets more publicity, maybe. Timmy's the new Spike Lee.
Shut your fucking mouth.
At the Knicks games, I haven't seen Spike.
Spike went on the road games to Atlanta and watched your team get destroyed by
He wasn't
the
at
Knicks.
the last game.
You know what? Maybe Spike's shooting something in Atlanta because he was at the away games.
That'd be interesting.
I mean, my
I would
God.
love it if Spike Lee made another movie.
Yeah, he's a pretty good director. He should probably not make any more comments about Michael, though. That would be one thing I'd like him not to do anymore.
That's like me. That's like an autobiography of my wife coming out and being like, I liked it a lot.
No, that would be like if we made an autobiography of you and then somebody asked me a question and be like, gotta say, really love that J movie.
I know
he's problematic, but
I know what he said about Inception, but that I like him.
Yeah, but
I like
that
he
guy.
Could moonwalk.
That guy
He could dance.
His
Let
glove,
me tell you, he could dance.
shiny. No. Anything else you guys want to talk about in terms of? I mean, like, I don't feel like we've actually talked about enough the actual plot of the film, like the actual the thing that they're trying to incept, which is this. I mean, I think we kind of mentioned
really
it a
talked
little
about
bit.
the mechanics of dreams.
Yeah, which is like what Jay you fucking hate.
Well, that's why I haven't really talked about it that much because Griffin loves this movie so much. I feel bad.
But he engages with it. He doesn't mind. Griffin, you don't mind if it's speak your truth. It's part of a conversation. Jay, don't be scared of Griffin. He's not gonna fly to Atlanta and kick your ass or anything. You know what I mean?
No. We have a shared bond over the Atlanta Falcons. It's okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, you hate yourself too for liking the Falcons?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, cool. A shared self-loathing.
Gotta tell you,
there you go.
I might be back on board with those Cowboys.
Okay. Okay.
You've been incepted, Ryan.
I've been incepted.
I was gonna say.
I don't know. I saw those defensive moves, and that's the thing. It's a little bit like Pacino and Godfather 3. I'm like, just when I thought I was out, they draft Caleb Downs.
What's your favorite dream level?
That's a good question.
Saito's dojo or his I guess palace
His
in
Fortress.
His fortress is so fucking cool.
That's fun.
It's
especially
awesome.
when he's like an old man. Which, by the way, the old man makeup, gotta say, pro.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I'm pretty pro on it.
It's really good.
The Saito Cobb stuff is very similar to the Neil protagonist ending.
Yes, it is.
In Tenet.
Yes, it is.
Let's be buddies.
And it fucking rules.
I like you, man.
Saito
cool,
is
dude.
so good in this movie. Ken Watanabe, incredible. Glad
incredible.
that the only thing that sucks is that they like shot him in like the first dream level, and then he has to like slowly die throughout the other ones. And it's like it's just like, God damn it. Like, but of course this is like the producer that wants to like tag along that has no business being on the set. Like literally the line, I'm here to protect my investment. Like that's I'm basically here to get my back end points.
Right.
But
I do love the slow-mo car. I just think they really get some good visuals out of that.
It's so good. It's so
like
good.
going into the water.
Yeah.
Really. They do. I do think the mechanics of time, even though it does feel like it's wildly blown, there is something cool about like visually seeing it, like how
agreed.
a level
and
of a level of
the
a level
score
effects.
And,
yes,
there's cool
because
stuff
Zimmer's
there.
like the brr, da, 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 it's like it's so good. Like I know it gets shit on and dogged on for like the next 15 years in its existence, but in the and he kind of teases it, like I think Griffin you said in Dark Knight, or maybe it was Jay that said it. He teases a little bit in Dark Knight, with the main theme.
Oh, the score.
Yeah, the theme.
It's got a little. It's got Brom light.
It's got Brom light.
And he's working with James Newton Howard, whereas like here he's by himself.
Yeah.
But then when when the van flips, or when it goes into the water and it's propelling the kick, and Ariadne has to leave Cobb in limbo.
The mechanics of the kicks,
all of it is great,
completely
inconsistent. It's fantastic.
Their car flips over, and they're just
nobody
like,
and well, yeah.
I guess because they're on the bigger sedative. I don't know.
Probably, I guess it's not like just like dunk him in a body of water. I do think his love pad is pretty cool. Like the mechanics though of like
I like Arthur just like pushing everybody around in the hotel room. Like
that's cool.
Yeah, right. Like assembling the bodies.
I like that in Saito's world there. It's in like I guess South America or somewhere, and there's like a civil war from his projections going on to go and find him.
Weird. They never.
It was crazy. Like
that's kind of like a cool dream thing though.
Yeah. Isn't that not the one guy though? Like the guy they fire or they?
I guess it's his. Yeah. I guess it's Lucas
his
Haas's, which is like, wow, the member of the Pussy Posse just like.
Yeah, Leo
threw wild projections. Yeah, he really did throw his guy a bone.
Yeah.
You ever think about like how like that guy's a member, like what he had to do to get in there? Like I guess just be their friend, and like he's the weird one. Because like McGuire seems to be kind of like in Leo used to lead that show, right? And then like Haas is like, yeah, if you've got like a third friend, maybe.
I think Lucas Haas was the alpha.
Oh, you think he's the alpha?
Yeah.
He just seems like a guy with too many scarves. You know what I mean? Like he's got too many different color hats.
He does give off some like Kirkland, Johnny Depp.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. Like a Cole's knockoff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He oh my God, that's so true.
Cool. He's the kid in Witness, right?
Yes, he is. Congratulations. Did you just discover that, or did you?
No, I was trying to
recollecting.
I was like, is he the kid in Witness?
You had to pull that back from your memory. You know who rocks the house in this? Behringer. He's so good in this movie.
Yeah, he's great. I love him.
He's so good. Small role, good stuff. It's one of those Nolan tricks of the trade. Bringing in. I
like that Cotillard is Michael Caine's daughter.
Okay, wait, is that true?
Yeah. I actually don't. I thought Michael Caine was Leo's father.
Yeah.
No, Michael Caine is Marion
Are you
Cotillard's.
Are you sure about that?
I don't know about
positive
that.
about that. I'm positive about that. Yeah.
Griffin, please look this, or somebody look this up. There's
I'll
no
fact
way
check
that
it.
that's true.
So
I
think
always
that,
thought.
I guess the lore is that they moved from England to France.
Well, but there's like the lines in the beginning where he's saying that like, well, after everything that happened, there wasn't a whole lot of ways to use the skills that you taught me, because like he basically taught him the art of infiltrating
Holy
people's
shit.
minds.
Michael Caine plays
I'm right.
Professor Stephen Miles, a mentor and father-in-law to
Boom.
Leonardo
That
DiCaprio's
is
Dom Cobb.
Maul's dad.
Wow. So
Mom-
Maul Miles
Maul
is
Miles?
her name.
Honestly, sounds like a fucking superhero at that point.
Maul Miles.
Ariadne is like the person who helped against the Minotaur in the maze.
According to
like
Michael
that.
Caine, director Christopher Nolan told him that any scene that features Miles is reality, not a dream. So that means at the end of that movie, it is it's freaking reality.
Sure.
According to Michael Caine, he was on set for 2.5 hours and made $750,000.
And he bought another great house with it.
That is one of the great lines that any human being has said.
What
When
that?
they ask him about
Have you seen Jaws 4?
2 or 4 or whatever. Yeah.
No, but I've seen the house that.
by all accounts, the film is very bad. But the beach house that it bought is very nice.
So good.
Good.
Man.
That's crazy. I did not know that until just now. That's his father-in-law. I thought it was always.
I always thought it was his dad. Yeah.
I always thought it was his dad. Well, actually, that kind of makes more sense.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it does. Okay. Well, then you learn something new every day. Good job, Jay. At least you got one thing right. You couldn't get Joseph Gordon-Levitt being a pro AI, but you got that one right.
All right. So I did look into that.
Wait, are you right about that
And
too?
what he's doing is not necessarily pro AI, but it is pro censorship.
Okay.
So,
But what
come
is
up
the
with your
censoring?
come up to your own.
So what you're saying is we by the end of this episode will still have our own mystery, our own spinning top, if it were, on whether the hell is going
That
on
is
with
true.
Joseph
Do you
Gordon-Levitt.
like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's politics? Is really the ultimate ambiguous ending of this podcast. Yeah.
Sounds nuts. I gotta say, one of the more
You decide.
one of the more terrifying moments in all of Nolan's films is the idea of this potion that they're taking and the sedative and going into like the what do you call it, like the dungeon, and watching all
the
those
place
people
where
hooked up.
the old people who can't dream.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is interesting.
It's so
They also,
creepy.
they also like offhandedly are like, oh yeah, the military made this so that people could kill each other and then come back to life. It's like, that's probably a movie.
Yeah,
Like,
that's yeah.
that's
And
basically Gamer.
and how the hell did you get it? Oh, don't ask those questions. Just dream a little, God damn it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so that's really good.
Yeah, the military made this so you could practice murdering people.
By the
and
way,
you
also
could do it in real life.
So Cobb, so that scene always made me I've always found terrifying in Nolan stuff. But then the other scene that always makes me laugh is him kind of, how did they get Ariadne into the dream world for like, the big moment when like everything kind of explodes and everything. And like did they
You're talking about in Limbo?
Yeah, no. Like in the beginning when they introduce her and they're at the cafe.
She
when
realizes
they're in
she's in
Paris.
their dream. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and they realize they're in a dream. Like, what the hell happened there? Did like somebody drug her? Did
Probably
Arthur drug her and get her in there?
inappropriately. Yeah.
Yeah, like what
That's the
happened there?
genius of it.
That's the genius. Get a warehouse and a bunch of sedatives, and let's see what we can do. Let's crack into this. But the idea of that being, what was it, 5 minutes?
Bill Cosby was the original Yusuf.
God damn it, Jay.
Madness.
Don't do
Madness.
that. Don't. No, Bill Cosby. Good Lord.
How's he doing?
No, we're not going down that road. Why don't you fucking Google it and find out? But no, there's so many like little things in the film that I think are really good. I think also like there's that scene when Leo's doing the Mr. Charles bit with Killian, which we haven't stated enough. How great Killian Murphy is in this film too.
Yeah, Killian's fantastic.
But I like the idea of like that dream world is on its side, or things are, or it's raining in that world there because of the rain that's in the other dream, and there's just like little cool things inside of it, guys. I don't know what to tell you. It's
And I will say, as obsessed with he is with time, Ryan, what have I been saying he's obsessed with in every episode in this series?
His kids, his family,
his family, his kids,
Perception.
his perception.
Perception, confidence, trying to portray yourself as the person you want to be rather than the person that
That's definitely there.
people might think you be. You are in certain circumstances. He's obsessed with that.
Yeah.
And that might be his obsession with movies, which is all about creating your own form of reality. But that is entirely here as
Is
well.
this the coolest movie Leo's like been in?
The coolest movie that Leo has been in.
I think there's a movie that's cooler than this.
Define cool.
Well, yeah. What do you? Because like, would you? I mean, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is cool.
That's the coolest movie.
But he's not cool.
But he's not cool in it.
Yeah.
Is he the
coolest, breeziest movie he's ever been in is Catch Me If You Can.
That is very true.
Yeah.
There you go. But is this up there with them? Like in terms of cool factor? Like he's playing he's pretty fucking cool in this movie, right?
He did this
traditionally.
He did this in Shutter Island?
Yeah, I was gonna say Shutter Island was like it was either the next year or it was the same.
No, it was in the February.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And that movie made a crap ton of money. But this movie made a lot of money.
There are other movies that wanted to be that cool.
Did this movie make a Billy?
Body of Lies. 850 million.
Okay, 850. Close enough.
Yeah. Like Gatsby wanted to be really cool.
Oh.
Wolf of Wall Street, according to many people, is
according to a lot of guys who don't understand that movie.
It is a very entertaining movie. It is undeniable.
That movie's good.
That movie
Wolf of Wall Street is great.
I just watched it. It's a masterpiece.
That movie's great. It's because people don't understand that I'm not going to litigate this again.
It's the Fight Club. It's the Fight Club of it.
It's the Fight Club. It's literally the Taxi Driver of it all. It's the same thing.
Don't Look Up was pretty cool.
I mean, is he cool in? Do you get to count him as cool as Bob in One Battle? Does he get to count as cool there?
Well, he's not
the cool person though. It's Sensei, right?
He's not really cool in that.
No,
he's now great at being a fool.
Yeah,
that's his lane now.
So if he's
awesome,
and that's awesome. I mean, that's why he's the best movie star, in my opinion.
He's a fool in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah,
Once Upon a Time. One Battle. He's a fool in
he's
Don't
a
Look
fool
Up as well.
He's kind of a fool in Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, like he's the whole like Quaalude scene. He's a fucking idiot.
That is one of the great scenes.
It's one of the great scenes ever.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah,
we love him. We love Leo.
I love Leo. I'm never gonna not love him. He can be with as many models as he wants.
Yeah.
Like, you know, every generation gets a Playboy that never grows up.
It's him and Mike Vrabel.
Jay, serious question about that.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
Can I ask you a serious question about this?
Yeah.
Griffin, you know obviously about the Mike Vrabel situation going on in the New England Patriots, head football coach. Okay. Do you think he's going to get fired for this, or that he's going to resign?
Coming on for Dark Knight Rises too. I feel bad.
Do you actually think like he would get resign for this?
No, they made the Super Bowl last year.
No, but like he wouldn't walk away
because he's a distraction. If he walks away, it's because he was asked to walk away.
Do you think they will ask him to walk away?
No,
because their owner was caught
if they start out 2-5, maybe, but not in the off season.
Well, I mean, it would be pretty rich if they.
It is like every other day there is a new thing where it's like, oh boy,
and you're like, how long is this gonna last? I will say, the New England Patriots cannot get rid of him because Bob Kraft exists.
Well, they are
right.
They're despite all of their success, they are the most scarred
disgusting
franchise
franchise
over the
out
last
there.
25 years.
They
Yeah.
really are. And yet, what was that? What was that score in the Super Bowl for the Falcons? They were up 28-3?
Yeah, that was pretty sick. Yeah, that was the closest my now wife ever came to breaking up with me.
Jay,
it was painful.
how
It was
mad were
painful.
you that night?
Irrational. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, just beside myself.
Griff?
Oh, I was.
I've never
pretty
experienced
inconsolable.
blowing a Super Bowl, let alone being at a Super
I mean,
Bowl.
when I tell
For,
you
like,
that
my
we
teams
were
or
that we
whatever,
were
so.
partying at halftime, it was
Oh yeah,
like,
same. I was doing.
it was over. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, same.
Can
same
I
thing.
can
And
I
then-
tell you something that's not going to make you guys feel good at all?
what?
That sounds great, Ryan. Thank you very much for doing that.
You're welcome. But that's what this podcast is for. So we were watching it at my cousin's house. My wife was there, and everybody was kind of doing what you guys were doing. We were celebrating, and one of my cousins had money on the game, and they put it on Atlanta, and da 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 da. And I just kind of sat there quietly at half. I'm like, I don't think this is over. And I said that like 4 or 5 times. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it's over. And then it happened.
With 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
And then
it was over.
Everybody was mad, and I was just like, I told you, I just didn't think it was over.
I threw my
And-
jersey in the street. We called an Uber, and the Uber driver, the audacity of this Uber driver. This Uber driver said, "Oh, how'd the game go?" He didn't know.
Poor guy.
Did you
I
tip
said-
him at least?
Not good.
Did you tip
And
him?
we got home, and
0
Allie was
stars.
like, "Why are you so upset? Like, what? Why are you so?" I was like, "Allie, that was the biggest collapse in the history
History
of
of the
sports that we just witnessed."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Poor Matt Ryan. Poor
we're
Matt
married-
Ryan.
we're
will
married.
never-
Poor Julio. I was so bad for Julio.
Yeah, also Julio.
Had that
Yeah, those
credible
two.
catch in that game
Kyle
too.
Shanahan, absolute klutz.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Dan Quinn never been there ever
He could
since.
never incept anybody.
No, he couldn't. I will say I have felt not as big a heartbreak as that, but my Spurs did get beat by the Heat, and that Ray Allen
The
three.
Ray Allen 3 was tough.
The Ray Allen 3 lives on in my fucking life
That
because
was
I think
tough.
about
Yeah.
God damn it,
But
we
it
would have had
propelled you to a
6 rings.
championship the next year.
Yeah, I don't know if we win the ring the next year,
Right. I agree. I
but
agree.
we would have still had 5, and we would not. Every fucking NBA Finals, I would not have to see that stupid goddamn shot of that bald
It is a
alien looking
pretty cool
motherfucker. God damn
It was a
it,
pretty cool shot.
it's not.
Bald alien.
Yeah, he looks
Box
like.
out. Box out, Spurs.
Don't take Tim Duncan off the court.
Maybe box out.
Damn it.
Anyway,
Take a Hall of Famer off the court. Anyway, anything else you guys want to
Alright.
say about Inception before we get out of here? Griff?
No, not really.
Griff, I have
said-
one for you.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So, Jay, as you know, 3 years ago, Christopher Nolan was up for a ton of awards throughout the season for this film called Oppenheimer. And
yeah, Oppenheimer. Yeah.
and Griffin and I went to the Critics' Choice Awards. Griffin was my
Yes,
plus
we
one
did.
that night.
Yeah,
Yes, we did.
And one of my favorite moments of that season, not only was getting to hang out with Griff a bunch, we went to that live Oppenheimer score screening, which was still
Oh,
one
yeah,
of the
dude,
best
that was-
screenings
that was
I've
like-
ever seen in my life.
Yeah, transcendent. Like
Transcendent
incredible.
experience. It's just awesome.
Glad
Like
you guys
yeah.
had a great time.
Yeah.
it was us, Haim, Eric was there, Ryan Coogler, like half of
Yeah.
Hollywood was there. It was an awesome night.
Yeah.
You had to be there to see it, Jay. Sorry.
At UCLA.
Like everybody's seen Oppenheimer, but you can't really see it until you saw it like that, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that night of Critics' Choice, I was sitting at the Killers of the Flower Moon table, and I was like right behind Christopher Nolan. And I want to say this, buddy, it's like I got to see this really great moment with Griffin and Nolan, and I still have the photos on my phone of just this like great interaction between Griffin getting to talk about how important this movie was to him and what Nolan in this movie means to him. And Nolan was so nice.
Why was he talking to Scorsese about that?
No, Scorsese wasn't there actually.
Marty, I loved Oppenheimer, dude.
No, I sat next to
So
I
good.
sat next to Jack Fisk that night, and that was badass.
Fist.
But so
like rearranged the flowers at the table. And
honestly, he was moving some stuff around that night. He was
Yeah.
when they announced this category via like a slideshow presentation. He was just like, "What the fuck am I doing here?" And it was badass.
Yeah.
But anyway, one of my favorite moments ever, Griffin, and
Yeah.
truly, when I always think of when I think of Nolan is Griffin getting to talk to him. And I had my own kind of like moment trying to like talk to Nolan and couldn't figure out if he was gonna stand or if I was gonna sit. But when he did finally stand and we figured that out, then Griffin got this great moment with him, and I'll never forget that. That was such a great thing. Jay, you're gonna meet Nolan one day. He's a pretty rad guy.
I'm gonna meet him when he films his Marvel movie in Atlanta. They don't film Marvel movies in Atlanta anymore.
So actually, you won't meet him.
Yeah, because that's fucking never happening.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, no, that was a very surreal, just important moment. Yeah, for sure. It was really.
But I know what
really
that feels
beautiful.
like. When I met PTA last year, it was
Yeah.
It's like the next day, right, Griffin, when you realize, holy shit, I met Christopher Nolan.
So I felt when I met Will
no,
Ferrell.
I mean it is.
You kind of like take it in when you meet your guy. When you meet Malik J, on top of a
I
mountain
can't
or
wait
something.
to meet Malik. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, you're gonna like eat a cheeseburger with him or something.
Yeah, he's gonna go on a press tour
like,
soon. I heard
that sounds like a blast.
For the movie that's never coming out, he's doing the press tour now, which is awesome. Jay,
Yeah.
before we get out of here,
This
we're gonna
is a tough
test
one. I don't know the answer to this.
test your war season knowledge based on the film we just reviewed, Inception. In a game we like to in a segment, not a game, a segment we like to call it. It's an honor to get nominated.
It's not a game. Don't call it a game.
Yeah, don't call it a game. It's a segment. God damn it. Jay, Inception, big movie.
Big movie,
Dark
big
Knight
box
was a big
office.
movie. It got nominated for a bunch of stuff. Did Inception get nominated for any Academy Awards? And if so, what did it get nominated for, Jay?
Definitely did.
Okay.
I'm gonna say visual effects,
Correct. It was a visual effects winner that year, easily.
editing.
It was not nominated for editing, which is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really crazy.
Original screenplay,
It was nominated for original screenplay. That is correct.
cinematography.
It was the winner of best cinematography that year. Fister won the gold, baby.
Sorry for disparaging your name earlier,
Yeah.
Wally.
Yeah.
I know
Sorry,
you're
Walt.
That's
hurting
Academy
for work
Award
these
winner
days.
Wally Pfister.
Yeah. Sorry, Walls. Really screwed that one up.
How about sound both?
It won both, got nominated for both. Bam, bam.
All right.
There you go.
How about score?
Nominated for score, Hans Zimmer.
Who won for score this year?
Resner and Ross for
Social Network.
the Social Network.
That's a good win.
I'll allow it.
That's a good win.
I'll allow
That's a
it.
good win.
Good job, score people.
Okay, so this was. Were they at 10 Best Pick noms at
It's
this
up for
time?
you to decide. Were they?
Yes.
And so
And it got nominated for Best Picture.
that is correct.
Mhm.
Anything else?
Not Best Director.
That is correct. He did not get nominated for best
All
director.
right. No actors.
Nope.
Production design.
That was best art direction at the time, and it was nominated for it. And that is it.
Okay.
It was
I did
nominated.
pretty good on that one.
It was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, Jay,
Wow.
and it won 3.
Pretty good.
So it won 2 sounds and cinematography.
Correct, sir.
Okay.
Do you want to know the nominees for best editing?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Social Network has got to be one of them. That probably won, did it not?
Social Network won best
Yeah.
editing, which is fucking correct.
Yeah.
127 hours. Black Swan.
I mean, they cut that thing from 127 to like 2.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
actually like 90 minutes, honestly, because that movie's 94 minutes. Black Swan,
Okay.
The Fighter,
A movie that I remember exclusively for its editing.
yes, shot by Hoyte van Hoytema, by the way.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And The King's Speech.
Oh, yes.
I'll never forget how edited that movie was.
The King's Speech.
The cinematography nominees: Inception, Black Swan, The King's Speech, Social Network, True Grit, there's that Deacons.
True Grit it's a good looking movie.
Best picture that year was The King's
The
Speech,
King's Speech,
Black Swan, The Fighter, Inception, The Kids Are All Right, a movie we all talk about, 127 Hours, Social Network, Toy Story 3, True Grit, and Winter's Bone.
Winter's Bone,
iconic.
Dawn of J-Law.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that it
With
was.
the Tree of Life wasn't this year. That was next year, right?
That
the
was
year after.
that was the next year.
Yeah. Okay.
Jace got that year and that film tattooed on his back.
So that's my memento.
It's actually
He is the Tree of Life.
it's his tramp stamp. Yep, that was Tom Hooper was director, Aronofsky, David O. Russell, Fincher, and the Coens.
We look
True
back
Grit.
on that so fondly. I'm glad Hooper's got a statue.
Yeah, the director of Cats, who is also going to now direct the next film written by Millie Bobby Brown. Good
Christ.
fucking Lord.
It's gonna be good.
It's Jover. It's so Jover.
Yep, this is the year that Colin Firth won for The King's Speech, Natalie Portman won for Black Swan, Christian Bale, The Fighter, and Melissa Leo wanted you to consider her for The Fighter. She won Best
It's
Supporting
a
Actress.
weird collection of winners.
It really is.
Very, very strange.
The King's Speech won an original screenplay over Inception, which was controversial at the time because it was based on a play that had premiered in London, and somehow they squeaked in at the last second into original screenplay.
Did
It
they
was a
give Social Network a ridge?
They gave that adapted because it's based on the Accidental Billionaires.
That was adapted.
So that's when Sorkin won his Oscar.
Oh yeah, because if you adapt a book, you don't have to get like life rights and stuff.
Yes. So this was when Jay's favorite film, Unsundees, was nominated for Best Foreign Language Film,
Ooh, baby.
along with Dogtooth and Beautiful, the Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu film that all lost to In a Better World, the Denmark film. Some good stuff.
What a
in here.
year. What an Oscars.
Inside Job won the documentary feature. Toy Story 3 won animated feature.
Keep going. Let's go through all of them. Every single category.
Jeez.
There's some good stuff. Oh, Jay, can I say one?
Griffin
And
doesn't have anywhere to be.
and then we can end this.
What's Griffin got? A social life? Come on.
Jay,
Gotta eat.
Jay, this one's
Yeah.
big
Okay.
because as much as we talked about Inception today, Jay's favorite movie of 2010, obviously,
Sure.
was the winner of Best Art Direction, and that was Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, the ugliest movie ever made.
The
Yeah.
ugliest movie ever
The
made.
ugliest movie ever made.
The precursor to transcendence.
So Griffin, and also won Best Costume Design.
Did you see that Crank 2 came out?
Griffin, would you give
Oh, that was 2000.
any Oscars to Inception that it didn't win?
Yeah.
Or nominations? Like, would you nominate
I
Nolan
mean, I think Nolan probably should have gotten a director nom
over Aronofsky, in my opinion, or David O. Russell?
Yeah, probably
Or-
over David
or
O.
Hooper.
Russell
Shit.
or Hooper. Yeah, I don't hate The King's Speech, but it is just a movie that's gotten forgotten. It's
The
just,
worst thing that happened to that movie was winning Best Picture. Like everybody.
Yeah,
hates it now.
absolutely.
The
I mean,
worst
like,
thing about that movie was that it beat The Social Network.
Right. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying.
think that's-
like, it was
that's-
for its reputation.
Not even
If-
just.
Otherwise,
winning.
people would be like, "Oh, it's a lovely.
It's a
little
charming
romp."
little thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Charmer.
It was what Weinstein.
It was a big
did
movie,
in
though.
order, yeah.
It did make a lot of money.
It made a lot of money. It made.
Well, that was the Harvey Weinstein thing. So I mean,
It was a $15 million budget. And it made $414 million at the box office.
Pretty good.
You know,
to answer your question about what I think my heart would have said Inception should have won Best Picture. I just think it's proven itself to stand the test of time. But also, The Social Network was nominated the same year, and it also, realistically, that should have won.
that's the correct answer.
So, but either of those, the fact that The King's Speech beat either of those films, which are defining films of the era, is mind blowing.
I'm gonna even throw this out. It beat Toy Story 3, which might be the
yeah,
best Toy Story movie. It might be the best Pixar movie for some people. Like,
sure.
I mean,
No, but the King's Speech though.
yeah, but he
King's
spoke. You know what I mean?
Hey, Jeffrey
overcame
Rush
that
is really
stutter.
good in that movie.
He is really good in that
I
movie.
mean, Firth is
Yeah.
good.
Firth is good.
It's like
Firth-
a
It's a
Firth is
good movie. It's very
It is a good
watchable.
movie.
It's not like it's
Yeah.
Green Book or anything. It's a much better movie than that. It's just
It just
it beat maybe
these
the
other
most
movies.
relevant film
Yeah.
of like
I mean, it beat 3 of like the again defining films of the era. Like
They're gonna make up for it this year with the new one.
Social Reckoning.
oh brother.
Yes.
I think here's the thing: if you want to give King's Speech the best picture, that's fine. Just give David goddamn Fincher the best director award. Like that just makes sense.
For
like
sure. That feels.
it
weird.
doesn't make sense for like Sorkin and the editing and the score to win, and then Fincher's like they're like, nah, we're good on Fincher. Like
No,
that doesn't
Fincher
make
was
any
being-
sense.
Fincher was being propped up by that other stuff.
Yeah,
The hack.
exactly. It's so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Griffin,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on and doing this.
Oh, of course. Thank
Show
you.
with
Thank
us,
you for
buddy.
having me. Yeah, of
Talking
course.
some
Happy to be on.
Inception. Can you
All
tell
the time.
everybody where they can find you and all your work on the internet and give a recommendation of the week? It could be something new, something old, just something you're gelling with at the moment that you want all the folks to check out.
Sure, yeah. So you can follow me on Twitter and Threads or Instagram at Griff Schiller. If you want to hear my unhinged ramblings and whatnot. And then also you could check out the Film Speak channel where we do, a bunch of video essays and deep dives into stuff. I've got, several Nolan videos that you could probably check out. One on The Dark Knight, Oppenheimer, a bunch of others. I'll probably actually wind up doing one on Inception this year. It's been one I've been wanting
Dark
to
Knight
do for a
Rises?
while.
Don't you have one on that one too?
I do have one on The Dark Knight Rises. So if you want to hear a positive take on that film, you can go check that out. Recommendation of the week. That's interesting. I mean, I'll just go with like the most recent film that I saw in theaters, which is Hokum. Really liked Hokum. I thought Adam Scott was terrific in it. It's if you've ever played like the Alan Wake games or like any of those like survival games, but specifically Alan Wake, it feels like a film adaptation of that. Nice blending of Irish folk horror with those survival game elements, and surprisingly more funny than I expected. But that kind of comes from just like the darkly comedic elements of Irish folk horror, and and also surprisingly very thrilling and scary at times too. I really dug that film. Good movie.
Really enjoyed it at South by Southwest.
I gotta watch it.
A lot of fun.
Yeah,
If you've seen Oddity and like
Yeah.
the films from that director, then this is the
Oh,
same.
is that that's the Christopher Nolan movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oddity.
Yeah.
No, that's the
Odyssey.
Odyssey. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway,
Is it my turn?
yes, Jay.
All right. Letterboxd J Ledbetter, Twitter at Mr. J Ledbetter. Anything I'm writing, you can find at the great website awardswatch.com. My recommendation of the week, I finally watched sort of a canonical film that I'd never seen before. I watched Picnic at Hanging Rock.
Oh, the Peter Weir
Oh.
film.
Masterpiece. I'm going masterpiece on it. I adored it. I thought it had such like a dreamlike, eerie, disturbing quality to it. It felt to me, even though David Lynch had not come out with a film at that point, it gave me, dare I say it, Lynchian vibes. But it was pre-Lynch, proto-Lynch. And it, I thought, just had an incredible kind of sense of tone and mood. So I really, really liked Picnic at Hanging Rock. And it's so Peter Weir's so weird because he never really made anything else like that. So it's cool.
All right. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, and Blue Sky at Ryan McQuade 77. You can find out my work here at awardswatch.com. If you like podcasts, we have the main show. That is delivered to you on Mondays, iTunes and Spotify. 5-star reviews are greatly appreciated. While you're on the website, sign up for the newsletter. It's the best place to get all of our news, reviews, interviews, podcasts sent to you all in one place. Recommendation of the week. I'm going to go with a very small film that I just recently watched and thoroughly enjoyed, and it's very provocative. And if you
Devil Wears Prada 2.
it's not Devil Wears Prada 2. It's a lot more provocative than that. I'm going to go with
Detective.
Elliot Tuttle's film Blue Film, which I don't really want to give too much of this away. I think that I did not know what it was really about. It's an 82-minute directorial debut. It's with 2 actors, and it is essentially about a like a gay cam boy who is hired by someone to have an overnight stay, and over the course of this night, they sort of have this, a lot unfolds, and beyond just sex, and I think it's a very interesting film in terms of that it goes places that I did not expect. There are a lot of taboos and a lot of
It's one for the family.
it's one for Thanksgiving, really. It's one that I think will challenge the viewer in terms of like it being sympathetic. If you're looking for that, it's not really. It's about these two kind of broken people over the course of one night, not really fixing each other, but trying to understand one another. And I thought it was really well written and just phenomenally acted. And for a debut, it's very confident, and it also does a lot of things too with sort of like cam videos um, and sexuality that you wouldn't find confidently in a debut. So, Blue Film, it's in theaters. It should be on streaming here in the next couple of weeks, or on video on demand, and I would check it out. It's also like this movie that was denied at a bunch of film festivals because it was too out there. I don't think that it is like crazy provocative. I just think that it has some
It didn't
uncomfortable
make
things.
the cut at the Catholic Film Festival,
No, it didn't. Which is don't even know if that
the
exists.
Film Festival of Latter-day Saints.
There you go. But no, it was just very interesting that like this one was sort of just like rejected because it tackled things that are very taboo, and yet I think it does it in a very fascinating, mature way. So that's Blue Film again from Elliot Tuttle. Next week we will be back, and we will be talking about The Dark Knight Rises.
You're a big guy.
You're a big guy. We're going to be talking about
Oh crap! I
great.
forgot to tell everybody to play this podcast at 0.5 speed.
Oh, that's right. There you go. To really slow it down or speed it up, however you want to do it, whatever level you're at. But next week, Dark Knight Rises, closing out the Dark Knight trilogy, which we're going to have to discuss the title of that trilogy. Anyway, thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you all next time.